Hello, everybody. Welcome to Irongeek Cast number 214. Many of you are terrible people. How you all doing tonight? Those that are actually on the stream. Our friend Frank is still doing vacationing stuff, so quite frankly, InfoSec isn't that interesting anymore anyway. Oh, shit. No thanks.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it started playing in another window.
Oh.
Oh, is that? I thought it was mine. Maybe it was someone else's. Well, anyway, how's everybody else doing tonight? Now we'll pass some technical dip.
Not too bad. Just living life, dealing with things as they come. Kind of the usual there. Work's going.
I got John James suggesting in the chat that I do something like Mad Max for Androids. I'll let someone else develop that. I did it for Windows just because that back in the day I had more of an interest in doing it, and I know there has to be a ton of ways to change your MAC address in Linux now.
Wait, what is
Android?
What is Mad Max? Because I'm thinking, you said that I'm thinking of the movie with that old movie.
Right, many years ago, I wrote a tool called Mad Max. It was a super simple audit script that helped you quickly change or randomize the MAC address and I think the host name of, as I recall, because it's been years since I wrote it, for your Windows box. It was called Mad Max, as in MAC addresses.
So MACS, not MAX.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I had El Sado. What about how are you doing?
I'm doing just fine, man. Actually, I was not planning to join the meeting, so I'm really happy I'm here.
Okay.
Wrapping up some work. I need to deliver something for the actually a cybersecurity project I'm doing. It's not that interesting. Spoiler alert, it's not that interesting. But kind of busy now. And then I jump up with you guys, and again, happy to be here.
Oh, glad you're here. Hopefully you get your work accepted as a talk someplace or accepted as a paper someplace. True. People probably get more reading if they just put it on a blog post anymore.
I do read your blog, though, if that's what you're concerned about.
You work remote? Oh, no, I'm saying if you're doing a bunch of development work and so forth, hopefully it leads to a good paper or blog post or talk for you.
I've also been researching home generators that Blizzard we had hit us a couple months ago. It's kind of let us go.
Yeah, so. A few people got on more of a prepper kick here recently. A lot of people used to make fun of them. I never made fun of them. I thought some of them were too serious about shit.
Yeah.
The preppers who were just like, maybe I should have a couple months of food laid up and some water. People sound pretty bright right now.
Yeah, we're not talking about insane shit like, living completely off the grid, growing your own mung beans and, shit like that. No, this is just basic survival shit. So that way, if we hit a rough patch, you can go through it fine. I mean, I had multiple ways to generate heat in the house. I didn't plan on losing power for an extended period of time, which kind of bit us in the ass a bit. But we would have been fine otherwise. The only thing I really kind of failed to do was to get my fireplace in working order before the storm hit, which now I've corrected. So if we get hit again, well, I got ways to burn shit in the house that will keep us warm. So
yeah, talking about the weather now, but I mean, it did get exceptionally cold down in Texas for what Texas ever normally gets.
Yeah, and people go, oh, it's 0 degrees. Oh. Yeah, try getting 110 for weeks on end, and then
if you're used to Michigan, 0 degrees doesn't sound like shit. If you used to Texas, I guess 110 may not sound like shit.
No, that's about every summer. We usually get at least a couple days like that. Yeah, it's over 100 degrees solid for usually a couple weeks in July and August, and then upper 90s for pretty much from June till September, maybe October, maybe November even. So we're used to the opposite end where it's hot as shit, not where it's cold as shit. That's why we build our architecture for that, because guess what? That happens every fucking year. And El Salto, I'm guessing by your name that you are Central or South American?
I was expecting that that appreciation. Yes, I'm in South America, basically. and winter is coming this way. COVID never left, so yeah, it's gonna be fun the following months.
¿Dónde está?
Argentina,
Argentina.
yeah, at the
Buenos
very
Aires.
bottom, Buenos Aires. Yes,
Very nice.
you know your map. Where are you guys based? I think Texas.
Yeah, I'm in Texas. I'm in the Fort Worth area. So.
What about Nicholas?
Oh, I'm in southern Indiana.
Yeah.
Okay, but both of you in USA, so we
Yes.
are in the opposite extremes. Yeah, opposite ends.
Yeah. It's you're getting your winter there.
It is. Yeah.
How is winter in there? I've always heard it's probably kind of mild, isn't it? Because you're not terribly far from the equator.
No, but sure thing is that winters are are warmer than what they used to be. At least when I was a kid. My 40s now, and by this time when I was 10, you probably might need to wear a scarf and some heavy clothes because it would be really cold. And today I'm wearing a t-shirt. So what the fuck? Something got broken along the way.
You usually don't get snow down there, do you?
No, there was only snowing once upon a time in 2008, something like that, in Buenos Aires. But it's not. No, it was extremely out of the ordinary. But it snows back in the south. Yeah, there's heavy rain, heavy snow in there too.
Yeah, we get snow. Usually, we get snow once a year in winter. Usually, you get like an inch or so. Nothing serious. We get more ice than snow, but it happens real briefly, and then it's usually stays down in the 40s, and again 40. That's 40 Fahrenheit, not 40 centigrade.
Yeah, I know that scale.
My wife has some Brit friends, and she talks to them about the scale, and they say it's 25 degrees here, and we look it up, and it's like, no, that's a mild day for us. And we tell them, no, get to 110. They're like, holy crap, how are you still alive?
Sorry, I was thinking about, I had a little bit of a moping thing. I have a friend I'm trying to get into what Twitter hate are, and she's more of a leftist. I don't think she's actually experienced the things in the same ways.
What's that? You kind of cut out there a bit, Adrian?
Oh. Did I mute myself? No. Sorry, I was promoting something earlier. Frustrated with arguing with someone who, a person I know online, they're a bit more of a leftist, and I was trying to explain them how dog piles work. And she's kind of like, well, can't you just, be non-committal and, I don't know, cut it short. I remember the exact tweet. I'm like, some of these people go on and on and on. Like, do you have a life of your own?
They're long.
Yeah, that makes me okay. Like this one piece of shit who was friends with me for years, betrays me for other things people said because I hurt his feelings because I didn't join in his own woke ideology. Then again, I've been called a charlatan to me by other people before, so maybe I should listen. And we're not naming names, by the way. But I'm tired of these pieces of shit. And these people who virtue signal and act like they're the good person. I'm the moral person. I'm doing the right thing. No, you're not. You're a harasser who joins in on hate.
They're losers. They can't do anything else except talk bad about other people. And they're long-winded. They think the longer your argument is and the more words they throw out, they're actually talking its substance. When it's just word salad, it just air. It's just long-winded nothing,
I think it's especially worse for people who thrive on attention. Because they have
that's what it is. They're completely emotional. The whole left, it's an emotional.
Oh, there was a
movement. It's all.
Oh, that's when people complained about. By the way, my cast in his cast where he talks about the left. I'm like, sorry, some of you are fine. I wish some of you would admit that you've gone crazy and you become terrible people. I know you don't understand.
They don't know it. They don't know it. It's frogs in the boiling pot. It's slowly getting turned up. They don't know what they're doing.
When it comes to the hacker community, they don't know what they're playing. There are many more people who would join in on the bullshit than actually call them out and attack. Then again, I understand why people don't, address it because I don't want to get involved in that shit.
Most people just go along to get along. That's how it is. Most people just go along to get along. They don't want to stir the pot. They just want to do what they do, get paid, get their money, go home. They don't care about any of this type of stuff. You know,
I can understand that.
that's why we're not winning that's why we're not really making headroom in this fight, because everybody else is just like, dude, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want you throwing piss bottles at me.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want you throwing fireworks at my house. You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't want you to get up, so I have to go find another one. People have kids and stuff. Nobody wants to get, but it's gonna, once they start trying to take away our firearms, that's when it's gonna happen. That's what happened at the beginning of the country. You know,
well, with you, and you don't mind me saying what your religious affiliation is, do you?
No, go ahead.
Yeah,
no,
but
go ahead.
let's say someone like you had different views, and you said that to them. We say, well, why would we want to let Nazis have guns, even though you're a Jewish dude and obviously not a Nazi? Because these people are mentally ill. We have people who I've been told not to refer to this, because to refer to it as paranoid schizophrenic isn't correct. I don't know what to call it. What do you call it when you see some people are so delusional about what's going on around them in the world? Because, you know, I'm looking at the right, and yeah, you have some crazy people who, like the ones that bought into all the QAnon shit and go nuts. But there's a lot of crazy conspiracies going on the other side that no one talks about as much. And I think are greater in number. The QAnon people, even the people who voted the same way they did, look at the QAnon people and go, let's put it this way. Alex Jones came out and was had a rant against a QAnon person because he thought they were too crazy. Pretty funny rant. And no, I don't listen to Alex Jones for content, but he's fucking funny. It's a fucking meme. Stop being offended by everything, you pussies. Oh, your audio's gone.
Alex Jones is right about a lot of stuff. So is Farrakhan's right about a lot of stuff, except he's like 95% right about stuff, except he hates white people and he hates Jews.
Who's that person?
You know what I mean? And that's just unacceptable.
Okay.
Farrakhan.
I don't know much about Farrakhan. Overnight, I do know I've heard him say some.
Listen to him. He's got stuff all over the place. He's on community access. I used to watch him talk all the time. He says a lot of good stuff. But
I've seen a lot of
that's the problem. Hitler actually said a lot of good stuff, but he was insane and he was full of hate and trying to kill people. You know,
actually, isn't there a quote from Louis Farrakhan? I'm assuming we call this specifically Louis Farrakhan saying that Hitler was a great man.
Yeah, he did.
He may have meant in his favor, and this is why other people have defended him in that. Great means something slightly different depending on how you use it.
Well, right, but look what Hitler accomplished. He did exactly almost what Napoleon did. People love Napoleon, some people hate Napoleon. You know, Napoleon for a long time was not a good person. You know, he was like Hitler. You know, to the
I don't know of particular
English to the French.
That was so long ago. I haven't really read.
He almost conquered. He conquered almost all of Europe.
Okay, there was a lot of conquering going on. Did he have any particular atrocities towards people that were beyond just warfare?
No. He was pretty live and let live capitalist type of guy. He was just I'm running stuff. You know, keep doing what you do. The French stay French. The Italians stay Italian.
So it wasn't so much he was hateful. He just had short-man syndrome.
He wasn't short though.
I heard that.
He had a really big horse, and he was 5'8", which was tall for the time.
I've also heard that it was also partly because his bodyguards. If you're the emperor, you're gonna have big bodyguards to protect you, and his bodyguards.
Big guys around. The imperial.
I'm gonna
guard.
do some chat.
Right. Because 5'8" is not real tall. I'm 5'9.5", and I'm short. You know.
I have 6'3".
Hey, I'm about 195, man. I'm not that small.
Okay.
I'm like a fire plug. I'm like a fire hydrant.
All right. Here's another thing from the chat. Woo, new defense distributed video was nice. I need to go check that. That was up from Imotech. Defense distributed, for those who don't know, they've been doing a lot. Or I think some of the people did some of the first work on the 3D printed guns, and now they're doing with some kind of.
Yeah. That's that Cody guy.
Cody Wilson. Yeah, no, they've been doing that. They make the Ghost Gunner as well, which is a portable milling machine for 80% firearms as well. Yeah, they did a lot of shit, and they actually they've had Ninth Circuit ruling against this. What's that?
I'm not sure who Damian
Woolman is. It's all legal. You can manufacture your own firearms, and you can give out the plans and the parts as long as it's not complete firearms. It's like if it's like locksmithing. Locksmithing is illegal in some cities without lockpicks are illegal without a permit or something or a business license.
Well,
you know what I mean? It's the same type of thing. It's government garbage.
No,
You can't own handcuffs or a handcuff key in some places. It's ridiculous.
By the way,
it's just silly.
Amotrack said this. Look at the screen. I don't know who Damian Woolham is.
He's saying Deviant Allum. He's being funny about it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No. Okay, so you can manufacture your own firearms on the federal level, but the problem is with plans. Plans are considered a defense article. So part of the initial issue with defense distributed was that non-U.S. citizens could get access to those plans, and having a non-U.S. citizen even look at plans is considered an export, which falls in violation of ITAR and EAR. So that was part of the initial kerfluffle with them in the State Department. They got to a settlement over that. That was resolved. But they actually just had a settlement on the Ninth Circuit. I haven't read too much. I just heard about it. That they ruled that was protected. I believe that was protected speech. So they just had another win on that one too, as far as I understand.
Yeah, I need to check into more of this stuff, and I'll have to go find that video. Actually, if you want to, link it in the chat so people can find it. That'd be cool. Or I can probably Google it. It's probably in the news. I just haven't. I'm a little bit behind on some of my news feeds because I have to actually do a lot more work today for some things that, granted, I should have done better. By the way, here's a question for all y'all. What do you think we should have more talks of at security conferences? Sex work or backups and backup strategies?
I would say backups and backup strategies. It just seems more. Aside from being more tangential than the other topic.
Well, let's say the other topic is connected because it could be about safety.
Yes, that is a thing as well. That seems a lot more tenuous though than backups. Backups are kind of a core thing of IT and security because security is not a matter of stopping them from getting in. It's slowing them down and preventing them from doing it. Someone eventually is going to get in and ruin your shit, and when that happens, well, you better have good backups.
I would subscribe to that. Yeah. Backups matter.
But not many of us will probably go see a talk on that, will we?
Maybe. The issue you're going to find more is that backups on the whole are usually managed by a different team, different department. So, yeah, it's usually a sysadmin who handles that versus the InfoSec guys. So they're not going to actually get a lot of visibility into it. That's my take on it.
Oh, and some people in the chat. No, the main person I was referring to wasn't that person, but there are plenty of people who fit the description I was describing earlier.
Yeah, I'm not really an InfoSec guy, even though I like InfoSec and I want to start learning it. But the thing is that backups, I think it should be taken from sysadmin and either worked in conjunction with InfoSec or given to InfoSec, because its backups aren't really getting done, and they need to get done. You know what I mean? It needs to be an important thing. You got to have backups for your home, backups for the office, backups for the corporation, backups for everybody. Everything needs to be backed up. And storage is so cheap these days and so readily available. It's ridiculous not to back anything up. You set it up once and let it go, and you just monitor it every once in a while and go from there.
I'm running into issues with platform problems, but I got it solved.
Part of the problem with that mindset is that backups are a multidiscipline thing. They're not just for InfoSec. They're for sysadmins. They're for database admins.
Exactly.
So everyone
Everybody
needs to have a responsibility in it. That usually that's why you have an independent backup, especially for large organizations. You have an independent backup team that manages everything.
That whole sex work thing is just more politically correct social justice warrior bullshit they're trying to fit in, man.
Yeah, that's why I said that whole thing about linking it to safety is very tangential at best.
I just want Give talks on some.
It's
Give some
bullshit,
talks on some social engineering, which again,
man. It's
get
bullshit.
into that.
Yeah, I mean that you could use sex workers as an example of social engineering, but
Here's an
that's
example: if you happened to meet Cardi B, how to be safe? Make sure she doesn't drug you and take your money.
Easy. Don't drink anything
No,
around her.
I
Don't
just-
hang around scandalous ass bitches.
On my Facebook before, I actually had someone defend Cardi B and said, "Oh, that didn't happen," or something like. Here's Cardi B saying it herself in her own accent, saying.
Dude, she's a horrible person, bro.
no, I mean,
I was involved in the criminal world for 20 years, and I saw people like that all the time. Don't give them any information. Don't give them any grease. And I support people that are mentally ill having guns. I support criminals, murderers. Anybody can have a gun. As long as everybody have a gun, the bad guys, which are a smaller percentage of them, they will be taken care of by the normal people if they're armed. The reason why we have all these urban centers where the criminals running everything and the citizens are scared is because and the police can't control stuff. It's because the citizens are unarmed. The criminals are armed. Once the citizens are armed, it's 10-1 or 20-1. The criminals get run out of town. It's that simple. It's that simple. You just shoot them in the face.
Depending on
If they try to hurt somebody, you just shoot them dead, and crime is done.
I'm okay with people defending their property, though. So if someone's using violence,
Absolutely, that's what I'm talking
okay
about.
with violence to defend property.
The criminals are going to have guns anyways. They're criminals. They do not obey the law. They're outlaws. They operate outside the law, outside of society, in their own world. They don't care what you say. They don't care what you do. It's catch me if you can. That's simple.
Some stupid stuff. I can't remember exactly how he phrased it, and I always try to. I'm OCD about exact wording because I don't want to treat someone unfairly. Because I'm always fair with all y'all. But I remember Biden saying something about back in '94, whatever it was, we banned assault rifles. No, you really didn't. First of all, they were. They probably weren't. I think assault rifles.
No.
I mean, I said assault weapons. So I would be fair.
No, they banned the import of Chinese rifles, and some had to come in with 10-round magazines. But you
had a shitload of stuff.
can just modify them once they're here to take 30-round magazines. And it's all bullshit. You could still buy AR-15s. They just couldn't have 30-round mags and muzzle brakes or flash hiders or compensators. That's all.
Larger capacity magazines, or I should say full capacity magazines is the proper term.
Normal capacity.
Full is okay by me too. But yeah, full or normal capacity magazines. Weren't they also grandfathered in? Because I remember I bought my
yeah, you could still buy them. They were just more. You could still buy them. They were just more expensive.
Yeah, my Glock was hugely expensive, or more expensive than it should have been when I bought it back in the early 2000s because that had.
Yeah. Exactly.
So what exactly are they doing? The new laws that will come down the book sound much more draconian than the '94.
Yeah,
crime
they're
bill.
not going to happen.
'94 crime bill, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, 94 assault weapons ban. Crime bill. Yeah, they're not.
It's one was at the same bill.
What they're talking about is not going to happen. Joe Manchin is not going to let that happen.
But is the gun law and the crime bill, is that the same bill from '94?
I really can't remember. I think they might have been two different bills.
I believe they were related. I know there was the big crime bill which incorporated the AWB, I believe, and then there were also separate.
There was welfare reform at the same time. Clinton pushed past all this stuff in '94, and it just made everything miserable. Because now the women on welfare, every 2 years they have another kid with another dude, and because they have to, otherwise they have to go to work. And it's just ruined the family of poor people, not just black people, but white people and Mexicans too.
Yeah, I'm about 98% sure that the omnibus crime bill from '94 was what the AWB was in, because that was supposed to be. It was like the new NRA or not NRA.
Brady.
No, not Brady.
Brady
God damn it, 34. Now I'm drawing a blank. NFA, National Firearms Act. Wow, there you go.
Oh yeah,
that was a definite brain fart. Yeah, it's like the new NFA. It was basically trying to be like, it's designed to combat crime by banning these kinds of firearms, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, but look at all the assault weapons that were used during that time.
Oh yeah.
First of all, it was not that many.
Well, no, it
First of
still
all, it's
happens.
not that many, period, because it just doesn't happen. But you had the Hollywood shootout.
Yeah, the North Hollywood
right?
shootout,
You
the
had
big one,
Springfield, Oregon.
because they used
Yeah,
several
you had
illegally modified
Columbine.
machine guns. Yeah, the Columbine too.
Right.
No, Columbine, they actually, I think all of those were legal. They had multiple 10-round magazines because guess what?
Yeah,
They
yeah,
figured
yeah.
out they could just fucking reload their guns.
Reload. Yeah, that's the thing. You just reload. And what they had like a high point carbine or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, as far as reload, also the guy down in the what was this? Oh crap! Why is it just straight from my line, from my head? One of the big shootings in Florida a couple years ago.
Oh, the Pulse nightclub.
Not the Pulse nightclub. This was a school shooting.
Oh, you're talking about Stonewood Marjorie?
Yes, I believe that is the correct one.
Talking about the 1980. Yeah.
Whatever one happened a few years ago down in Florida, which name has totally escaped me. The guy only had 10-round clips. I remember that part. Oh,
Yeah,
10-round magazine. Even they got me saying it.
That was the one that happened
magazines.
in that one county. I think it was Broward County, because the Broward County's inaction was basically what made it happen. It's so bad because they weren't going in to stop the guy.
I hate it when
that guy that tried to make the pillows against my pillows. What's that little dude's name?
Oh, I didn't know.
That was riding the bike that was near it, but he said he was
David
in it.
Hogg.
David Hogg.
Yeah, David Hogg.
Yeah. Dude, I got a My Pillow, man, to
I need to buy
support
one.
My Pillow. It is the best pillow I've ever had. I swear. It doesn't get warm at night. It supports your head perfectly. It's amazing.
Have you said,
it's like a real. It really works. It's a kind of expensive, but it really works. You don't get hot. It just. I sleep the best sleep I've slept. It's crazy. I've had memory foam pillows. I've had all sorts of type of pillows. This is the best pillow I've ever had. I've had goose down pillows, all sorts. Goose down pillow was the second best. This is the best pillow I've ever had.
Have you seen Tim Pool's My Pillow?
Yeah, the burlap sack with packing peanuts in it.
Yeah. These people are crazy. They call anything. What I loved is when Ben Shapiro. I find it hilarious whenever some guy like Ben Shapiro gets called alt-right or something. I'm like,
yeah.
You know that alt-right doesn't like Jewish folks very much, right? They have all sorts of conspiracy theories about them.
At all.
It's not unlike
I gotta go head to head with them online all the time.
And also,
you know what I mean? I always say Jew haters have micro penises, stuff like that.
Well, his wife is she's Jewish, but she's
a doctor.
Different race, and the alt-right people, they really have a thing against race mixing.
Yeah, he's Orthodox. Well, here's the thing. For Jews, there are no race. If you're Jewish, you're Jewish. Doesn't matter what color you are. Skin color is like hair color to us. It doesn't matter. I mean, there are differences. Some people are retarded, but people, what are you going to do?
I know there's some culture differences too. Like, I'm understanding those various Jewish religious ceremonies, depending on which denomination, and if that's even the right term, you are.
No, we all do this. We all do the same thing, read the same book, have the same tradition. We just
use what? You just add and remove things
on the procedure. We all have the same stuff. We do the same thing.
Okay.
We do. It's 99% the same.
Okay. I was told
it's 100% the same Torah, but that's within the Orthodox world. When you start talking about reform and conservative and reconstruction and humanistic, that's a whole ball of wax that has actually nothing to do with real Judaism.
Okay.
That's La La Land, Disney.
All right, sorry, man. I was lumping them all
made up fantasy
denominations.
Oh yeah, no problem. No problem. It's real confusing because there's a lot of different types.
I was gonna say, like, my understanding of certain ceremonies that various Jewish groups will do with wine, but the Ethiopians, since wine is less common, they'll use mead instead.
Yeah. You can do that. You can if like I remember one time for Havdalah, for some reason we had Havdalah is the ceremony after the Sabbath. It's saying goodbye to the Sabbath.
I don't know if I'll give him credit.
You can drink beer. You can say it's called Kish. Is when you say a blessed wine and bread. You can do it almost over everything, but it's traditionally done over wine. It can be done over beer or something like that if you need to.
I'm trying to catch when someone's. I don't know if he went. I showed the posts. But I don't know if I credit him for that in case it causes him problems. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's telling me. connected cartels, geopolitical warfare connected with the DPKR does, and so on. I don't think I can cover all this. He was talking about things to keep in mind about the Nation of Islam, which he heads. He's referring back to Louis Farrakhan. Is that they were good buddies with the American Nazi Party. I've heard of connections, and this guy is saying that that's really common connections. If you want me to, I can actually. I'll say I don't mind saying your name, man. I just don't know if you want me to. But apparently, I didn't know they had those kind of ties before.
Oh yeah. They're you know they're into all this stuff. They're not that big of a group though. People give them a lot more credit than they deserve.
I can. I do remember those things and tweets a while back, because you actually look at the alt-right agenda and you look at various let's say black separatist groups, or even some stuff and I don't know as much about the Nation of Islam at all, but from some of the goals I've heard from both want the same thing.
Yeah.
Different people. So and I'm not none of them are good.
Right.
But they actually
No.
from them talking to each other. I like researching weird fucking fringe group. There's tweets out there of, I think it was Richard Spencer.
Yeah.
Richard Spencer talking to Louis Farrakhan and another man whose name escapes me. What is his name?
Well, they're all separatist type of people. They want to break away and have their own country.
I'm trying to think of who the other guy was, and his name's totally escaped me. But anyway, you see a whole bunch of them, even though in theory they all hate each other, they have similar goals, actually talk to each other about, yeah, you go do that over here, I'll go do this over here. Maybe it works out.
Yeah, they'll just divide up the country. Yeah.
I don't think how it is. If I was a country, I don't think it's their thing. They just want their thing wherever they want it. And
yeah. Well, they're not that big. You always hear about them, but they're not actually that large.
They do prop things up.
Yeah.
But it's funny to watch all these people who, in theory, are opposed to each other, but the ideology is very similar, other than a couple key differences.
Well, like Richard Spencer is basically a statist, socialist type of guy. You know what I mean? Type of fascist. He wants big government for welfare for white people. Basically, it's like, dude, the biggest recipients of welfare are white people. They're disconnected from reality. It's a cognitive dissonance. They don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people who have debated Richard Spencer say that basically he has very socialist views, as long as it's socialism for white people.
Yeah.
Which
exactly. That's all
why
it
is
is.
the alt-right called the alt-right and not something else? Since economically, they're what we would normally consider left. And as far as
originally the alt-right was just different than in like 2014, 2015. It was just different. It was just like if you like Pepe memes, you were a libertarian. You didn't like the neocons. You didn't like the leftists. You didn't like the Hillary Clintons. That was alt-right. And then Richard Spencer, claimed it and made it all racist. And then it was done.
And Richard Spencer coined a term. If he coined the term, then pretty much he gets to define what it is. Because there was a whole lot of back in those days that you're talking about, there were people who were identifying as alt-right before they had a better grasp of the term. I think
he included everybody. He listed all those people.
Did?
And he included. He's like, look, the libertarians. He was like, everybody that's not this is alt-right. He was trying to form a new label, a new term, and then he didn't like that he was outnumbered. You know what I mean? By everybody else that didn't agree with his racist stuff. He thought everybody was going to follow him, and nobody did. And so then he started making a racist stuff, and saying that alt-right is just racist. And then like Milo and all those guys started picking on Ben Shapiro, and that was that. And what's his name that runs Breitbart?
I remember going down. I remember the term alt-right is still massively confused in the media, because they call people like Ben Shapiro alt-right. They call people like Carl Benjamin alt-right. I'm like, it's far from it. I don't think people understand what. Then again, journalism is gone and asked because given the term cytogenesis, someone's making a lot of noise in the background. I'm gonna do an experimental mute. Wasn't him. All right, sorry, Jason. I temporarily muted you. I can unmute you later, or you can unmute yourself. I think. I forgot what we were even saying now. I got distracted by the sound.
Something about the alt-right.
Well, yeah, I know, but I can't remember what particular thing. Oh, yeah, a lot of journalism is really bad as far as getting terms right, even close. Wikipedia is hideous. Have you ever heard it? And I think a lot of journalists use it too much. Have you heard of the term cytogenesis?
No, that's a new one to me.
I originally heard about it from Tim Pool, but I don't know where he originated it. And people go give me shit for listening to Tim Pool. I know too. Actually, I think people already have. Anyway, cytogenesis is when someone will write some bullshit in a Wikipedia article. Well, a journalist will come along, read the Wikipedia article, take it as fact, and then go write an article about it. Then someone will come along on the Wikipedia article and go, okay, this needs a citation. So someone will go out and find that article, which was based on Wikipedia, and use that as a citation. That is cytogenesis. Basically, someone makes bullshit up. It somehow gets re-put in another journalistic effort, and then Wikipedia uses that journalistic effort, if you want to call it that, as a citation for what originally came from Wikipedia.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what's going on, and that's why journalism sucks so bad these days. You know, they're actually talking about getting rid of Wikipedia because some reason there was a big thing about it that Wikipedia is going to get banned for passing false information or acting as some kind of group or something. I can't remember, but they were talking about getting rid of it.
I think it's great for a lot of things like scientific articles, most technology, and so forth. If it has to do with current events or anything historical that involves politics too deeply that might reflect on modern day politics, I wouldn't trust that article whatsoever. I've actually heard of victim major groups in colleges being given assignments to go out and edit Wikipedia. Okay. Oh man, but you can't speak about things honestly and research these groups without everybody freaking the fuck out. I did a talk on 4chan and the shit they did, and I still got people, coming after me and whining about, oh, he has a fascist frog in his slides or something to that degree. Not that exactly, but I'm like, oh, dude, you spend any time on the internet? Do you actually research any of these things, or do you just go with? I can't say BuzzFeed clickbait off of the Facebook anymore because BuzzFeed does seem to have diminished. But I don't know where people get these views.
People just love to complain, and they're uneducated. They don't know history. They are unprincipled, and that's that. And they're authoritarian. They want everybody to be punished except for them. They want to do stuff that nobody else can do.
I have some
also the mass media too.
The censorship people are coming from YouTube for YouTube. What's her name?
Susan Wojcicki, something like that.
Yeah, she's banning. They're coming after the left, and the left is complaining now.
Well, they do come after the left. I will give them this. People complain about prominent conservatives being banned. I think more prominent conservatives get banned from various social media, but I have seen some pretty far lefties get banned also. So they do it. Though the far lefties in question, looking at the interactions with people, they probably were harassing someone when they did. And I'm not saying all the right-wing ones weren't either, because some of those are guilty of that too. But the left-wingers I've seen get banned are usually low-level accounts with strange anime avatars. Do I have anybody with an anime avatar here? Okay, we're good.
No, they're going after the big ones now.
Oh, they are. I put something about that. Maybe I need to watch a BreadTube video on that. By the way,
I'll send you the link. It was Sargon of Akkad was talking about it. I can't remember the lady's name that he was talking about, but it was last night or the night before. I'll send you the video.
Oh, I use the term BreadTube, but does everybody know what BreadTube is?
I do.
No,
Okay.
I don't actually.
It's a fairly far, or pretty far left, like if not communist, close to communist. I hate to I don't want to mischaracterize them, but that's usually the way they'll characterize communist group of YouTubers who are loosely affiliated. Like anybody on YouTube's loosely affiliated. Like, oh, I don't know if you saw this one a few years back. Someone, what was it? Data and Society Group or something like that wrote this bullshit article, which basically they tried to tie like every YouTuber they didn't like to Richard Spencer. So the way it would work is, let's say, even some of the people they put on there is like strange. Like I want to say that one may have been one that Sean Head was on. I'm not sure because it was like Richard Spencer had a debate with Carl Benjamin. Carl Benjamin had Shu or someone else of similar ilk on. So somehow they're all connected, even though politically their ideologies are not. And I can't remember what this this person who put out this bullshit article was. I imagine they'll do a whole lot of that. 6th degree of whoever they don't like at the time. Okay, I just realized that rant was kind of incoherent and didn't go anyplace. But yeah, if you had the video about prominent left-wing YouTubers being gone after, I wouldn't mind reading that. I haven't really watched many of the people that are considered BreadTube, other than I'm not sure if Sean Head is considered BreadTube. She's gotten more socialistic, at least. I don't know if she's, I know Vosh is considered BreadTube, I believe, and oh crap, who is the Counterpoints? I believe is considered BreadTube. That's the funny thing is, if I had actually talked to this about some people on Twitter, they would have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about.
That's
people
who they
don't know
came after. That's who they came after. Counterpoints, and she's pissed about it. They came after Counterpoints.
Oh yeah, I think I saw
Sargon
that
of
video,
Akkad was talking about it. Oh, okay. Yeah, you saw the one where Sargon of Akkad was talking about it? Okay, yeah, that was it.
And then they go after a person that goes by the handle Philosophy Tube or something like that also recently.
Yeah, they went after him too. Maybe I misgendered him.
Yeah, actually, yeah, they started, I believe, their YouTube career going by male pronouns and so forth, and I think that changed later. I'm not sure. It's not someone I've ever watched, but I think they did start their career on YouTube one way. So I understand what people would say, that way. That's what you get used to. Oh. Okay.
What about the post office spying on us?
I only heard something vaguely about that on, I think it was Mr. Reagan's channel. And I don't know much about it. Do you know Mr. Reagan?
Yeah, I watch him.
Yeah. I've heard something about that, but I didn't totally follow what was going on. So I won't be.
Well, apparently they were looking at people's social media for some reason.
It was basically a way to try and track extremism. It's basically the
right.
post office.
That's what they were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but which extremists though they're going to target? I wonder.
Most of the people who are protesting, it sounds like they're looking for big protesters. They didn't specify like what bent they were, but
We know which way they were leaning. The government.
Well, people like Antifa
disagreed with them. Yeah.
People like Antifa are useful to the administration until they're not.
Exactly. And Antifa doesn't even know that. They're just morons.
Well,
they're just useful idiots. They don't even know it.
Anybody can accept, and I haven't dived into the nitty gritty of this stuff to the detail that they would probably want me to, because I'm sure they have some theory that explains it. But to me, I don't see how anybody could believe in a narco-capitalism. Sorry, a narco-capitalism I can get into. I don't see how anybody can, not totally, but most part.
And communism and
Yeah, I don't know how people get into narco-communism who have ever done a college project with a group.
Because all their professors are filthy Marxists. That's why they're all Marxists. They're nothing but Marxists in the school system, in the public schools, in the colleges. There's nothing but filthy Marxists and communists.
Yeah, but beyond that, I'm thinking, how do you redistribute the wealth without a hierarchy? If you're not going to have a hierarchy, who tells who what to do? If everybody's doing what you want to do,
you can't. It doesn't work.
Who are you forcing to dig the ditches? Because someone has to. Well, how's this work?
Dude, Adrian, that's why it doesn't work. Everywhere it's been tried 19 times, it's been a failure and ended with mass deaths and mass murder and poverty and just 5 people at the top, super wealthy. That's why it falls apart each time. And if you did, like Dr. Jordan Peterson says, if you did have somebody that was benevolent enough to actually do what they say they were going to do, some strong man would come, stab that guy in the back and take control.
Yeah.
And then you have the same thing. That's how it goes. It's just how it goes. Human nature, they think you can change human nature. You can't change human nature. We are where we are. You got to try to channel it towards good, and that's about all you can do.
I think anarcho-communism could work in a very, very small form. Like, if
Well, of course, your family is a fascist communist dictatorship, basically. You know what I mean? It works with 4 people or 12 people, and that's it. Tim Pool talks about that all the time. You know, on a little commune, on a little farm. That works. Doesn't work. It doesn't scale up. They think you can scale up everything. How are we going to pay for it? Oh, just print money. I mean, this is the mindset. They have no idea what they're playing with, and this is the who wants power. These guys are nuts.
I am expecting some mass inflation. My stock is going up. That's nice, but I don't know if that's a real value increase.
Buy crypto. That's all I can say is buy crypto and sit on it.
Oh, another person you mentioned is Bingo.
It's been going straight up ever since it started. All the cryptos are just going straight up.
One of the guys you mentioned earlier, someone who I don't understand why he gets the shit as he does, is Jordan Peterson. Because his advice, people get called him a fascist or alt-right or some shit. I'm like,
and a right winger. They call him a right winger and a conservative.
And I don't know if he was that.
He's not. He's your normal liberal. He's your average liberal professor. You know what I'm saying? It's just stupid.
His advice isn't all that.
And
his advice seems to be
John Haidt
for yourself, and that seems to be
John
the limit
Haidt,
of his.
John Haidt. They call John Haidt a right winger too. He's not. He's just an average liberal. You know what I mean? It's a joke.
Jonathan Haidt.
The whole thing is a joke. Jonathan Haidt.
Oh, crap! I'm trying to think of the book he's most famous for, and it's not coming to me.
Oh, I can't remember. My memory's not working good today.
Oh,
I guess yours is.
That's not working either. Oh, well, I'm trying to figure that. I just thought of Gad Sad and the Parasitic Mind, but
oh yeah, Gad Sad is amazing. He's amazing. But the Parasitic Mind has some good
Jonathan
stuff.
Straight wrote. Jonathan Haidt wrote this really influential book.
Let me look it up.
Yeah, if you say the name, then
I'll look it up.
Know which one it is.
Yeah, I know. I've been hit in the head a couple times.
It's something similar to that.
Work like it used to be.
Yeah, it's similar. Something similar to the the Parasitic Mind. But I think
the righteous mind. Why good people are divided by politics and religious. The hypothesis finding modern truth and ancient wisdom.
What was the very first part of that title?
Good intentions and bad ideas. Hypothesis finding modern.
That's not the book I'm thinking of, but
The Righteous Mind. Why good people are divided into politics and religion. 2012. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Jonathan Haidt's a good guy too. All the stuff they talk about is on the money. You know what I mean? Like in Judaism, we have a saying: emes is emes. Truth is truth. It doesn't matter where it comes from. You can get truth in Christianity. You can get truth in business. You can find truth in economics. You know, it's just whatever works. If it works, it's true. You know, what Jonathan Haidt and Jordan Peterson are talking about, this is stuff that we've known for thousands of years, literally. And if you look at the arguments of things thousands of years ago, there's always somebody new saying, "Oh, look, we can do it different and better if we just do this and we just do that." And they discredit and don't take into effect human nature. You know, you have to accept human nature. We are how we are. We do what we do, and just work on making the best out of that situation. You can't, if you start monkeying around with stuff, it ends up with disaster every single time. Every single time.
So, anybody else besides me and Jason want to chime in on anything? I know we got into more controversial stuff there. Jason's probably more controversial than I am. In his own way.
I'm a little bit of a hardliner.
You might be this guy I stumbled across on YouTube. He goes with the name Housing.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna check him out.
Yeah, this guy named Halsey. What's up? He goes by the name Halsey, and he's another like conservative to libertarian Jewish dude.
Okay, Google.
Who has a lot of the
Pause music.
background.
Oh, nice.
You might like him. Probably has a lot of philosophical background because he's constantly going on about his religion and how it affects him and his concern for the Jewish people and what the future is going to be like for them. He's concerned with that. All of his principles I've heard of seem to be mostly conservative to libertarian.
Yeah, well, that's mostly what Judaism is. It's free market capitalism, and libertarian, conservatarian type stuff. That's just everything in it is just based stuff like that. It's just all it is. And the reform and the conservative, which they're not conservative, they're conservative is a branch of the reform. Humanistic and all those other types of Judaism, those are left-wing nut jobs. Those are the Marxists and all that stuff. That's how that works out. But the Orthodox is more libertarian and right-wing and free market capitalism.
You said
so. I got
capitalism. You said what? It's not as free market capitalism.
No, it is. It is free market capitalism.
What, Judaism is against it, or which one's against it?
No, Judaism is for.
Approaching a railroad
reform
1,000 feet.
That's what I would have thought.
Use the left lane to turn left. Then turn left.
Oh, I can't add him to the stream because I don't have enough people.
Hey, Google.
I'll jump off. Here, I'll
Google. Jason, you can stay on. You're speaking. El Sato.
Oh, okay.
If you're not doing anything, you hop off. No offense, man.
Turn left. Then turn left on Southeast 37th Avenue.
Oh, I'm trying to add Nathan back in, and I can't add Nathan.
Turn left on Southeast 37th Avenue.
What's up, dogs?
Hey, Frank.
We hear your GPS, man.
That's fine. You'll have to live with it for a minute.
Nathan, I'm sorry. Unless someone dropped off. Well, someone dropped off. Wait, who dropped off? Jason dropped off. But Jason was saying the most.
Hey, Google. Mute.
Cheers, everybody.
Hey, Nathan. I was wanting to hear more about free market capitalism and roots in the Tamil or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I hopped into the YouTube channel and I heard a call for extremism, so I reported immediately. How can I help you?
I'd like to add Jason in. I mean, no offense to you, El Sato, but are you going to say much?
Do you need to drop for?
I need to drop somebody because I can only have 6 people in.
Dude, you can have 10 people. Use my account.
No, I can't because I don't have your account. I don't have your permissions.
You should automatically be logged in, but I'll fix that
it's
later.
Not letting me add him.
All right, I'll fix it later. I'm driving right now.
Okay. Thank you, El Salto. Sorry about that, man. Now I can add Jason back in, but we were talking about extremism, so Nathan wanted to join in. We were talking earlier about free market capitalism and the influence of what Jewish traditions on it.
Judaism, Orthodox Judaism, basically ancient Israel was like anybody could come and be and anybody from any nation could come through. You can march your armies through. You could live there. You just weren't. You could live there as a citizen, but they had just 2 types of citizens: Jewish citizens and non-Jewish citizens. But you still had all the rights as a Jewish citizen. You just couldn't participate in the Jewish rituals and stuff.
Jason, I'm happy to you. Sorry, man. I think you got your speakers on.
Is there an echo?
Yeah.
How about now? Better?
So hold on.
You're talking about classes of citizens, and you're talking about free market.
Rewind a second because I think we're talking over each other. I think what you said.
It was just a distinction because Jews really care about who's Jewish and who's not. It's still
okay.
What's going on? But you could still be a citizen, and you were just considered an alien citizen, and you could sell and do everything. That's what everything was. They just sold stuff, and You just had businesses. That's why the exile,
trying to figure out who
they excelled at business and transactions and being middlemen.
So I was just trying to figure out who has a loop back. You don't have.
Here, let me mute myself.
Yeah. Do you have a headset, Jason?
I'm wearing a headset.
What the? Huh? Do you have it playing on speaker someplace?
No, let me restart my system. I'll be right back.
All right, man. I asked a couple people so we could get Nathan on, and then more people left than needed to. Yeah, Busted Sec, I don't think that account way works. I mean, I was basically using your account before. I gave it stream permissions to my account. I was using your StreamYard account, but my YouTube account. But that won't let me do it this particular way.
So
not a problem. Am I looping back
free
now?
market and citizenship at the same time. That was silly.
Who are we shipping at the same time? Wait, no, someone else is looping back now. Who the hell else is looping back?
I hope it's not me because I literally just turned my mic back on, but I have the audio really low in the car, so you shouldn't hear me looping.
Okay. I'm hearing me some.
Mute me, Adrian, temporarily, and see if I'm the problem.
All right, and I'm going to unmute Nathan because Nathan muted himself, I think. Or I can't unmute Nathan because he's a guest. Nathan, unmute yourself. All right, do we hear any echo right now? Let's test.
I don't hear any echo. Do you guys
Now
hear
we're not
any
hearing
echo?
any. So it was a combination of Jason and Busted Sec.
Sons of bitches.
So what are you going to say about extremism and racial? I think this last 20 minutes of this cast is going to be hard to listen to because how much I'm stuttering and how much we're having other problems.
No, I popped into the YouTube channel and I'm hearing free market talk being referred to as extremism when it's like
I'm not calling free market extremism. There are people who might refer to it as that much.
Well, yeah, those people are a little sick.
Is my echo gone?
And Jason was bringing up connections that the free market capitalism have with Jewish tradition, and in a positive light, by the way. And I don't know if we call
a lot of the Enlightenment. They had studied Christianity and the ancient Jewish texts. Same thing with the American Revolution. A lot of that stuff came from the Judeo-Christian idea or philosophy about what a person was. Like as a Jew, I have what's called four amos. It's four measurements all around me. That's my personal space. If you come in my space, there's issue. Everywhere I go, it had the individual. It had the idea of a person was an individual person with God-given rights and ideas and stuff, and a purpose and a meaning.
The founders of the country turned out to be a bunch of fucking losers, didn't they? I mean, that was a pretty big failure on their part, wasn't it? Because they were cowards, because they just wouldn't let people be free, right? So, they were like, hey, everybody can be 90% free, but no, we just won't let go of the control, will we?
Yeah. The founding fathers were rich dudes, and I don't think they wanted everyone to be free. I think they wanted.
Well, they were highly educated also. Well, they said there's the bargain that you got to give, that somebody gives a little bit of freedom to have a lot of freedom. You give up some of your rights so you can exercise the other rights, Right, and they had arguments and what?
Even the idea that Judaism or any religion would want freedom. They would only want it for the followers of that religion. Every single religion, in my opinion, is equally biased to say that they're the right one, that they're the ones that will make the people free. It's the same exact horseshit. Statism and religion is the same silly superstition.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You can turn Judaism into a religion. It's more of a spiritual practice. It's not really a religion that's meant to control people and do all that type of stuff.
I mean, you guys have a native
Judaism
tongue,
says
so
everybody.
Yeah, you kind of have a difficult argument coming out with that. You have a
Listen,
native
Judaism-
tongue, rituals, just like a government. Government has legal jargon, and government has their silly rituals that they do on election day and other days.
Every human,
So, no,
every human culture
it's
has that.
silly
Every
bullshit
human culture, it's part of being human. It's human nature. That's human nature.
to make up silly superstitions and then enforce
Absolutely.
that people.
The quote I was
Absolutely.
looking for was, "Those who would trade freedom for liberty deserve neither."
Right.
Yeah, coming from a guy who just wanted to bang chicks and build stuff, which is a very, very noble way to want to live.
Who are you talking about?
But- Benjamin Franklin. Come on, dude. I'm in
Oh, yeah.
Philadelphia.
Well, the founding fathers were drunkards. They were whoremongers. They were a whole bunch of stuff. They're humans. They're not perfect people.
Yeah, no, they
Some were
kept
slave owners.
slaves. They sold freedom and they kept slaves. No,
Well,
but
it was in
people
the-
go,
it was
well,
in
I'm
the
going
law
to quote
that
the
it-
founding fathers. And it's
And
like,
it was also in the
why?
law that they couldn't give up the slaves until they died. Thomas Jefferson would have gave up his slaves, but he couldn't because of the law. Half the country was for slavery at the time because it
No.
was in their economic value. Yeah, sure they were. The whole South was. Half of the 13 colonies were for slavery.
Well, I'm going to say that there were a lot of free black men. So where I
The-
live, I'm not
The
where
first
I live
person
right
to
now.
own slaves was a free black man.
I live
And
about
he
a mile.
didn't let the indentured servants that he had go. That's where slavery started.
I
The
live about
inconvenient truth.
1 mile from Abolition Hall. That's where I live.
Right.
I also went up to this really, really cool outdoor museum that's several hundred acres, and it's called the Strawberry Bank. And bank has E on the end of it. And Strawberry Bank was a colony founded in the 1620s and up in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. And up there, when they had that law that you couldn't get rid of a slave as long as you were a slave, that's when they started burning down buildings where they had old slaves that were no longer worth working anymore. So to say that, no, it's completely inhumane and disgusting. But on top of that, what it was complying with the law.
Fuck the law and fuck the police.
The problem with status is a problem with the government. The government is evil. There hasn't been a good government on the earth. Every single last government has been evil.
No. It's not that there hasn't been a good government. There cannot, by definition, there cannot be a good government. Unless your definition of good is to oppress and coerce and enslave and abuse, then there cannot be.
The government is, as Thomas Paine said, the government's a necessary evil. It should never be given any more power than it needs. You know, it's there to make sure the very basic things are taken care of, like the roads. People can live.
The roads. Stop with that bullshit. I will not allow it. I'm not allowing the roads
So
argument.
I'll let
the flat states. We have to coerce and control
No,
people
I will let.
to dig
I will
out
let.
places flat enough to walk
I'll
on
let
and
Autumn
drive
explain
on.
Thomas Paine to you. What? Podcast. I'm good. No, all right. Autumn's not going to talk to you. She doesn't like you. No, I'm just kidding. But what I was saying is the government should not have any more freedom than it needs. Limit the powers of the government as much as possible.
As much as possible means there's no power, and that means no government.
The government always takes more power. There's not one government that has ever shrunk. It always grows. It always more laws, more stuff, more this, more that, more agencies, more bureaucracy. There's still bureaucracies that are caring about the mayfly epidemic in 1966 in California.
What? Is this the podcast? Yeah. You've been on it before.
Oh.
So advocating for the least amount of government is still advocating for government. And government will, by nature, always expand. So there's statism, and there's not statism. There's the advocating for violence, coercion, dominance, and then there is people that freedom, and they want to share freedom.
So I agree with you. You give the government a little bit of power, it's going to continue to try and get as much power as possible. It's going to be, it's like It gets a taste. It gets a taste of power, and it wants more. And it just keeps passing legislation to give itself more and more power. I think actually under Obama, the government expanded, the federal government anyway, expanded quite a bit. I mean, the drone strikes alone were like, I think, quite an overreach compared to previous administrations. And yeah, government just keeps giving itself more power.
There's no government. The people.
There's no government?
The people.
There is none.
Explain that.
Okay. ISIS has trucks, and ISIS has guns, and ISIS has hideouts, and ISIS cuts people's heads off. This does not mean that Allah exists. Christianity has child molesters. They have Vatican. They have a lot of crazy things, but it does not mean that God exists. You have these psychopaths called cops that have badges and they have boots and guns. You have politicians with papers and books. There are big buildings that they inhabit. This does not mean that government exists. It's just a belief. It is a dominating, ugly, filthy God. And it's the last God that most quote-unquote atheists give up.
Yeah, that's true.
No one has a right over you. Not over your body, not over your decisions, over nothing.
I still don't know if I have an answer for this. There is no government. I don't understand this contractual ways you could do it. Let's say you have beef with not just one of your neighbors, several of your neighbors. And several of your other neighbors are siding with you. How do you resolve all that?
Great question. And I'm going to answer by not answering because I've done this conversation way too many hundreds of times. And I cannot answer everybody's nuanced question because when I talk to a realtor, it's going to be something over property. And when I talk to an artist, it's going to be over intellectual property rights. And it's always going to be another same version. Same exact
they
question.
always move the goalposts. And they always move the goalposts on you. Well, what is this? Well, what is that for every explanation, you know? I'm going to
give you the answer. I'm going to give you the answer. The answer is, I don't owe you shit. I owe you. I won't bother you, and you better not fucking bother me. And that's how that works.
There's going to be a shitload of people bothering each other.
No, there weren't.
Who am I talking to right now, by the way? I don't recognize the voice off the top of my head.
It's Nathan.
It's Nathan.
Oh, Nathan. You haven't been on the casting forever.
By the way,
I haven't been on it for 3 weeks.
A couple minutes here, a couple minutes there.
This one has a very low view count right now. I should say not view count. It has a very low. It has a very low watchers count right now.
Large. Okay, go ahead.
Nathan, I have a question for you. Do you think businesses exist?
We didn't finish the last topic, and the last comment was, which I didn't get to respond to, was that there would be a lot of violence if we didn't have a law. And I would argue the opposite and say that people use law to create a lot more violence. They don't carry the violence out themselves. Instead, they get judges to command sheriff and cop and all types of other gang members to go out and execute their violence for them. So with this being established that much more violence gets done by way of government than by way of freedom should be pretty much inarguable.
I'm having doubts in some of this that the complete removal of police is going to actually help matter. Now, I think people are going to tear into each other, steal from each other, find a way to justify it. Yes, cops do bad shit too sometimes. I'm more of a minarchist, and where we can reform. But actually getting rid of the cops, I think that'd be a bloodbath in various places. Also, has the crime rate already gone up since last year in various places? They've lowered police forces.
Listen, I'm gonna go inside to refill for my whiskey in a second, but I want to say something about minarchism real quick. Every single statist is a minarchist. Every single one of them. Your leftist communist down to your most staunch libertarian. You all believe that you want the minimal amount of government necessary to carry out what you personally want. It's the same exact thought pattern. You want the absolute
It's the same
minimum.
delusion. It's delusion. It's delusional, though. It's a little bit delusional. Look, everybody talks about ANCAPers being extremists and out to lunch. They're just honest with what's going on. Everybody else has cognitive dissonance and doesn't realize it because they have cognitive dissonance.
Right, but let's stop it.
What Nathan's talking about is exactly right.
You can stop calling it ANCAP. You can start saying consensualist. I only advocate for consensual.
Exactly. A volunteer
interaction.
society, a volunteerism, right?
That's another one, but I prefer voluntarist, right?
Okay.
Voluntarist is good, but I prefer consensualist. Consent is such a huge word straight across the board that I think consensualist is very important. It's saying that if you violate consent, and that is the honesty of what it is. It's people going, okay, I want to use force, or I want to use courts to violate consent, or I want to use this law, or I want to use the HOA, or I want to use whatever some bullshit I can to violate consent.
You have arbitration instead of the courts, right?
Well, that's the funny thing is, yeah, sure, we could use third-party arbiters. We could use public opinion. One thing I talk about all the time is stateless conflict resolution. How do we achieve a stateless conflict resolution? How can we come up with conflict resolution using the internet where everybody that makes the decisions involved are not attached to the case, or we can obfuscate the people involved in the case and just make everything so vague while there's very, very important, unique decisions to be made. How can we decentralize and create conflict resolution? That would be ultimate.
Exactly.
Fuck you to the state.
Decentralization is perfect. Well, that's the old Jefferson versus Alexander Hamilton argument. Jefferson didn't want a big federal government. He wanted local things to arbitrate stuff and deal with things. And we don't have that anymore. The states have way more control over it.
So guys, are you talking like Federalist Papers?
He didn't try to solve a problem, tried to shape a problem. If you need to involve a trusted third party, then you have failed at solving the problem.
All right, hold on a second. So Bustin' second mute himself again? So Bustin' second mute himself again? Well, someone has to.
So before I mute myself again, because I've been trying to talk and nobody seems to be hearing me, or you're just ignoring and talking over me.
Let's let question.
My question is, were you referring to like the Federalist Papers when you're talking about Hamilton?
No, I'm talking about the split. Yeah, well, yeah, it might have been the Federalist Papers, but the discussion that Alexander Hamilton was on one side and Jefferson was on the other. Jefferson was the Federalist. He wanted more local state control, and Hamilton wanted the strong federal government.
Right. So what's your opinion on that? You think we should have a stronger state government, a stronger federal government, or neither?
Me?
Yeah.
Or Nathan?
No, you. And then Nathan. Nathan likes to talk. I want to hear you, though.
I don't think we should have a government.
Okay. No government at all.
No.
Complete anarchy.
Dude, anarchy is a good thing.
Is it?
Anarchy just means lack of government. Dude, what do we have now? We basically have a police state right now. Have the police, have the government come down on you. Have the local police, the state police, the county police, the federal police come down on you and see how much money you have to spend for a lawyer, if you can find one that will take your case, and see if you don't end up in prison. That's not freedom, bro. We live in a tyranny right now, and nobody recognizes it. Everybody's walking around asleep like everything's fine because they're not messing with me. They're not messing with you yet. If they can do it to one person, they can do it to everybody. It slides downhill, and the snowball gets bigger. How it goes.
So what's the solution? We can't not have any government. That's insane.
No, hold on. We don't owe you a solution. That's the thing, is you have to advocate for your violence. We don't offer you a solution. You tell me why you need to control us. That's your problem.
So you're saying the system's broken and we should dismantle it, but you're not offering any solution to fix it.
No. You're advocating for a system. I'm advocating for freedom. What do you have against freedom?
He didn't say anything about freedom. He asked for a solution. A solution does not have to be a system.
The solution is caused by control. Okay, you're making the positive assertion that government needs to control people, And if we don't control people, what do we do with the freedom? What do we do with the scary ass freedom?
People are scared of freedom. People are scared.
Well, hopefully not get shot by the person trying to steal my shit from next door. Or actually not. That's a bad example. All my neighbors are pretty cool. But, no.
That's what the non-aggression
I'm in a situation where I can take care of that to a degree. But let's say it's a little old lady with no family or anybody else. And granted, the cops don't necessarily get there in time to do anything about it immediately. But
That's why
I
you
feel
have
like
a
it's just when they had no one to call on. And as an individual, I don't trust other gangs of roving dumbasses try to assault me. And
Adrian, you understand they destroy the family and they
everybody
destroy the
was
neighborhood
strong,
community.
independent, and was open to defending themselves. Yeah, maybe that would work. And the system I see out there, I see being the minimalist on government as being a better thing. The idea of no cops whatsoever, I don't see how it's not going to turn into a huge shit show.
All right, fine. Let's talk about cops real quick. I'm not talking about no protective services. I'm talking about no cops. So I'm talking about companies that have to compete. They have to compete to satisfy customer demand. Where would the customers come up with? They wouldn't have to pay exorbitantly high salaries to cops that don't even protect them, right? So this is an absolutely ridiculous argument. Also, you guys know if you're in the chat, you know that I'm going through a thing, so I'm pretty pissed off about this stuff, and I apologize for coming off aggressive.
No, go. You're all right, Nathan. You're amongst friends, man.
Cool. All right,
I'm not reading the chat much.
Right.
It's
so
too much
the idea is that there is no opportunity to solve these problems. The opportunity is squandered by people forced into complying with taxation to pay for an abusive police force, right? So competitive companies, like anything in eye care, in anything at all, look at Amazon, look at anything. There's natural competition is the only thing that's going to give you a good product and B, a competitive price. It gives you buying power with your dollar. Otherwise, you have no buying power with your dollar. All you have is your shitty ass vote.
I can see that to a degree. However, what means if we both have two different protective agencies? What if I hire one protective agency and you hire a different protective agency?
Arbitration is for. That's
And
why you have arbitration.
who forces me to
Those
take
two
that
groups
arbitration?
arbitrate.
Who
Those
forces
two groups arbitrate for you.
Hey, guess what? If
It's
you have a car
it's
insurance
contract.
company and I have a car insurance company and we get into an accident, we take
You are-
pictures of the accident
You go
and
to
then
the-
we submit them.
You go to the
We
arbitrator.
take pictures of the intersections, we submit them, we give our stories, our testimonies, and our insurance companies decide. If not, instead of going in front of a court, we would go in front of arbiters.
Yeah, and I don't want to go in front of those arbiters. Isn't those arbiters a new form of government in some ways, and the ties they might have to protective agencies?
No, because it's free. It's a free market.
No, that is
It's
a
free
huge
market.
problem.
decide
It's
to
a huge
ignore
problem
your
that they would have
protective
ties to government.
So I decided to
thing
ignore
is,
your protective groups,
At this
and I
point,
decided
the
to
only
ignore
way
your
that
arbiters. What do you do now?
So the idea that there's a problem because arbiters are tainted by the existence of government is a very legitimate problem. But the thing is when you remove government from the equation, and the only way that an arbiter service can maintain solvency or legitimacy is by consistently coming out with good, honest, agreeable solutions that go with public opinion.
And you need an honest media too. You need an honest media that reports all this stuff, and people that import all.
Well, not really.
Okay, I want to hire a policing force of my own that doesn't care about the arbitrator. What's in it for me not to buy that or to pay for the services of that particular policing force?
So listen, think about it this way. You have a neighborhood. Let's say that you want to hire Brinks or Allied Barton or any of the security services that already offer Garda. All right. If you want to hire any of these companies that already put out armed guards that are walking around with huge sacks of money in armored trucks, making targets out of themselves in bad neighborhoods, yet never kill anybody, that have to carry insurance, right? But this entire idea that, like the left goes, well, we want to install these people that are going to be mental health professionals. Well, that's a terrible solution, because all I have to do is go, hey, I have an ex-boss I don't like, so I'm just going to call up and say that he was talking about committing suicide. Well, now this guy's going to be tied up in an entire mental health evaluation thing, and it's going to jam him up. It might, ruin some licensing in the future, like continuing education credits. So the idea that these people want to expand government because they think that, hey, it takes the initial violence out of the situation. It's like, no, all it does is redirect the violence into a different area. And it's I don't know, it's very frustrating. Freedom's the answer. What was the
I
question?
like it, but a lot of people don't want freedom. There's a lot of people who won't want to give me freedom. So at least the minimum government has.
Well, they're
sets the rules that
statist
people have to follow.
authoritarians.
But
Adrian,
dude, there's a
they're
lot of
statist
people.
authoritarians, man.
Dude,
They're authoritarians.
I don't think a lot of people could make it in an ANCAP society. Not that I have a huge problem with that necessarily, but
a lot more people would make it in an ANCAP society.
I don't know. I think a lot of people just wouldn't be productive enough and wouldn't be self-motivating enough.
It's the exact opposite. They'd be more productive. They wouldn't be held down by this system and these shitty corporations and the shitty government. Look, all the big breakthroughs in science are made by one person working in his basement or in his garage. You know, the big corporations, they'll refine and improve on his big breakthrough, but they don't make big breakthroughs. They clamp everybody down and limit their potential by the nannyism and NIMBYism of the state and of the corporation and of the bureaucracy.
Hold on. I want to help you out on that. Because there was an article that I just read today about how DARPA wants to use the zero knowledge proofs used on Zcash, developed by, I believe they were developed by Matt Green and his team over at Hopkins. That they developed this technology for cryptocurrency, and DARPA now wants to use it for security researchers to be able to submit their research to companies while keeping everything quiet, to kind of smooth out like the violent relationship between companies being reported to vendors and the security researchers that discovered the zero days. So this is a perfect example of what you were just talking about. So you have this private group that was developing something on their own. Then government goes, hey, that's a use case. So we're just going to usurp it and say that it's our good idea, and we're going to use it for our version of good. And you could probably Google search the article. It just came out today or yesterday with zero knowledge and DARPA.
Okay.
Nathan, how do you feel about objectivists?
That was a pretty big.
Like what's his name? The Israeli guy that's the big Ayn Rander. I can't remember his name right now. The Israeli economic professor.
I had to mute you, man, because you loop. There you go.
No, I don't know who you're talking about, but
I'm trying to think of his name.
Walter's topic.
I'm looking it up. Hold on. Okay, I got it. Yaron Brook. Can you hear me?
My phone went on mute.
Oh, Yaron Brook. That's who I'm talking about.
Okay, that's some weird stuff coming up there. I don't know.
You're still muted, Nathan.
If anybody wants to read that question on the screen, I'm not sure what that.
All right. Don't you guys know about Klaus Schwab and his friends in the World Economic Forum? They planes for a long time in the open. ITS above. Check out the OA meeting. Now that's true. The whole guy at the European Union, they've said all this stuff. They have the big reset they want to do, all this stuff, and climate change is going to be used as the main driver to shut everything down. And they've come out right and said it. The Davos group has said it too. They're not hiding this. These guys come out and they say exactly what they want. They want basically socialism for the whole world, and they're on the top. This globalist garbage, you know, with a one world government and all that garbage. So yeah, Nathan, the guy's name is Yaron Brook. What do you think of Yaron Brook? Because he called ANCAPers pure evil on this
I don't care.
podcast.
They can hear you.
No, I know, but what do you think about his criticisms of ANCAP stuff?
I just don't know what he doesn't understand about it. I'm not sure what his misunderstandings are, or what his shortcomings are, or what his.
I'm just asking I'm just asking, have you heard of him? Have you heard him talk and stuff? You know who he is?
No, but I mean, he sounds kind of like a control freak to me.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of these Ayn Rander objectivist guys. They say if you have a government and you keep it, controlled and what do they say, accountable, you can govern, you can do stuff, and you can have a free market, and everything will be fine as long as you use reason and knowledge and reason as your backbone, as your main driving force.
If you were in an HOA, would you advocate for like a community junkie, just to keep things diverse? But you're going to trust the junkie to not get out of control.
How are you talking
not steal shit.
But that's
the weirdest analogies I've ever heard.
But that's the thing, because government always gets worse. It always wants more and more power and more taxes. The tax rate at the beginning of this country was like below 10%. It's like 5% or something. The government was completely tiny, and it's just gotten larger and larger and larger, and we lost more and more freedom, and nobody cares about freedom and liberty anymore.
Yeah, the thing is we had a government. That was a problem. So let's talk about when the government first got corrupted. When was the first time that the government had a gross, abusive reach of taxation and threats of violence against the citizenry?
The Whiskey Rebellion.
1791, Whiskey Rebellion, Johnstown, Pennsylvania, right? Alexander Hamilton, that piece of shit, imposed an excise tax on the grain growers. And then that piece of shit, George Washington, first president, 1791, he mobilized 10,000 troops to go out there and kick the dog shit out of these guys. And I believe they celebrate the Whiskey Rebellion on July 10th every year. And they do like a faux tar and feathering, because tarring and feathering was the shit back then. But the idea is to go, well, yeah, why did you trust these guys with the government at all? I mean, haven't you learned anything from the past several thousands of years?
No, they have not.
Well, let me talk about anarchism and security. One of the things that attracts me so much to the security industry is its importance, the talent deficit, the rates that you guys earn, which I believe is very well earned. These are all indicators that the government cannot, they are incapable, they are impotent to serve companies. They're impotent to serve individuals. They're impotent to stop cyber attacks. They are pathetic. So we go straight to the free market. And I did a lot of entrance and exit interviews at a couple security consultancies. And one of the things that I always asked during an onboarding was, why the private sector and not the public sector? And I got a lot of variants of the same answer, which is, if you work in the public sector, it's because you're not very good and you just want to shave and wear a suit for a living.
That's fairly true, actually. Though you don't have to shave, depending on. Actually, it's not public sector. Wait, public? You said public sector, but yeah. Actually, yeah, you're logically correct. Yeah.
Right. So that's one of the reasons I love security. But another thing is, if you look at the American Revolution, right, which I hate to do because I hate to say, hey, I like those guys. I like the founders. But one of the main drivers was the quality of resources. We had an intervening ocean to pad any oncoming attacks. We had lumber, we had gold, we had all the precious metals, we had the working metals. We had everything necessary to do a revolution. It was a quality of resources. And I'm seeing the same thing right now with technology. We have the great mathematicians on our side. We have the people that are coming up with these ZK snarks and these other fantastic technologies. You hear VPN thrown so much around in like day-to-day conversation, so much more now than you did 3 years ago, and orders of magnitude more than you did 5-10 years ago. The playing field is being leveled again. And the last thing I can bear to see is a bunch of cowardice getting in the way.
Well, I mean, I'd like to get into InfoSec and do like bug bounties and stuff. I'm more of a system administration guy, you know, like
I want to get out of
hobbyist stuff, you know, but I wouldn't mind doing bug bounties. That sounds fun. Interesting.
So that was me talking about InfoSec and why I love InfoSec so much. Well, let's talk about other industries. Let's talk about private launch. Let's talk about new CubeSats and nanosats, right? Why in the fuck are we paying any attention to the FCC, these fucking dinosaurs? Oh, disobey them, disregard them. They're of zero importance. All they are is a hindrance on emerging technology. Why does anybody pay attention to them?
The SEC has offices inside these big corporations where they have to go and do all the registration and stuff.
Okay, look,
legislation and all the regulations and all that stuff. They're in the place. Little places don't have that, and they come and they close small businesses all the time.
Yeah, guess what?
They're working with the big corporations. If that's not fascism, I don't know what is.
It's a government employee. So what you do is you buy them 11 beers, a bag of Coke, and a hooker, and tell them to shut up for a couple weeks. That's all that's the extent of the value of a government employee.
Oh, that doesn't happen. Come on, these guys are honest. That's what sheeple think. Sheeple think, I haven't seen it on the news. It couldn't be true. I've never seen a hooker. I've never seen a bag of blow. You know, all these, you know, retarded square types that don't know how the world really works.
The entire idea is that as a species, we have so outgrown the idea of borders. It's ridiculous. As quickly as ships move, the fact that we have satellites going into space, there are no borders. All governments do is get in the way of commerce at this point. They cause commerce problems. They cause trade wars that we don't need and nobody wants.
Real wars that we don't need.
Well, yeah, that's what
We've
happened.
been in Afghanistan for 20 years. Why are we in Afghanistan? We got rid of the Taliban. We got rid of Bin Laden. Why? No, we got rid of Al Qaeda. We got rid of Bin Laden. Why are we fighting the Taliban? Taliban didn't do anything to us. Taliban was our friends. They were the Mujahideen. We were supporting them against the Soviets. It's ridiculous.
Well, so InfoSec community, you guys are the mercenaries. Government can't keep people safe, so you're the private security force. That's who you are. When I say I don't like the police and I want to see competing private security companies that are accountable, right? This is no different. It's just you guys do it digitally. It's no different at all. Well, you have this huge bustling industry that is so in demand.
Just take for instance, when COVID hit, right? What industries were hit? Things that you have to be there in person: restaurants, bars, shopping store. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Nathan, I'm willing to give it a shot. I'm willing to see what happens. I have enough money to hire probably a better policing agency than some other people would. So I'm interested to see how it goes because how do you put this way? I see problems happening either way. I just think I don't know if most people can actually live in a completely free society, unfortunately, and I hate to say that.
No, but so I'm not here trying to suck InfoSec dick at all. These are my observations. Do you believe that the world would be a better place if we eliminated private security consultancies?
Not necessarily, no. I've heard of some that have done some bad shit in the past. The peak potential would be one I would
I think it'd be the horrible thing. The only people guarding the hen house. Only people guarding the hen house.
Well, no. The people guarding the hen house are the FBI and the CIA and, the three-letter agencies. So we should trust them.
We
have no idea.
They don't Why do we have people's data and stuff? You know what they're doing?
Why do we have them? What do we need CISOs for in companies if government can keep us safe?
Because government can't keep you safe. That's the problem.
I'm not.
What are you talking about?
My corporation safe in that particular way. Basically, the government's supposed to be there to keep one
Governments for after the fact. They're for after the crime happened. They're cleaning up the mess. They're just garbage and then taking out the garbage and the dead bodies and taking pictures.
And to agree, I agree with you there. Which is why I definitely don't.
After the fact.
Which is definitely one of the reasons I don't want them to get rid of self-defense laws. So.
The Second Amendment, the only amendment that's been crapped on more than the second is the Fourth. You know, you have no right to privacy. The police can come up to you wherever you are, search your car, search your person, strip you down, look inside your asshole, and no problem. You can't go to a lawyer and say, look, this is a oh no, that's just the way stuff is now. Live with it. That's what I was personally told more than once. You know what I mean?
I have a similar situation.
Is that a police state, or does that sound like a police state in theory, or does that sound like freedom?
Maybe it's because of where I live, I have a different experience with it. Most of the times I've been encountered with the cops, I was doing some shady shit. Let's just say that.
Were you creating victims?
No.
Me?
Well, if you weren't creating victims, you weren't doing shady shit.
It's a potential of victims, though.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Kind of matters.
Listen, you either create a victim or you don't. You damage property or you don't. This is a very, very easy line to identify. If anybody takes your stuff, takes your money, or hurts you, damages you, bothers you in any way, and you haven't hurt anybody or damaged their property, then that person is the criminal because they're making a victim out of you.
And
victimless crime should be abolished. Victimless crime should be abolished.
What about crimes that are likely to lead to a victim? Like, for instance, reckless driving.
Adrian, how is crossing the street while having your shoe untied and scratching your nutsack, or parking your car in a spot too long? You know what I mean? How is that against the law and you get punished for it?
That's not necessarily victimizing someone else, though. If the property belongs to someone else, you're loitering.
That's a victimless crime. Why is the government punishing you for that?
It might be a victimless crime, but someone else has to park there and I'm loitering. But one I actually want to get to, let's go back to this one. I can think of a victimless crime that probably should be a crime. Certain types of reckless driving under the influence, doing that kind of thing, there may not be a victim yet, but it's kind of behavior that could lead to
reckless. That's reckless endangerment. That is reckless endangerment.
No, it should not be a crime. You know why? Because you haven't hurt anybody. Listen, it's stupid. It's very stupid.
Be able to drive drunk.
There's a lot of stupid stuff you can do. There's a lot of stupid stuff you do.
Should I be able to drive?
You know,
should I be able to drive drunk? Let's say example. Let's give that as an example.
What?
If someone's allowed to drive drunk and they don't hurt anybody, is it still a crime?
As long as you don't hit anything.
Even though I don't go that far into libertarianism. No.
look at what happened. Look at what happened to dumbass Hunter Biden. You don't think he crashed a whole bunch of cars?
Well, I imagine he's been.
He gets away with it. Why does he get away with it? Because he's
not
for the government.
I think the same thing. That's a different issue to me, though, because I think it should be applied to everybody.
Dude, but that's the thing. If it's applied unevenly, it shouldn't be applied at all. If it can be applied unevenly, it shouldn't be applied at all.
No. I disagree with that. It shouldn't be done at all. You either create a victim or you don't. If you have a victim, then you have to make them whole.
Or you know what I'm doing? If I do something that's regularly endangering someone else, but they don't actually die or get hurt from it, it's no longer.
That's a good question. It's a good question.
If we're going to try to legitimize government, which I hate doing, then there should never, ever, ever be a penalty over $30 for court fees. If you want to hurt somebody, how come they never say, you've caused damage and we want to punish you and hurt you financially? So what we're going to do is make you donate X amount of dollars to your favorite charity.
Because
how come they don't do that? Exactly. Therefore, legitimizing the entire thing. Totally illegitimate.
The whole thing's about money and control, you know?
Totally
about money and control.
It is money. Also, I don't think you got to give your speeding ticket, let's say, charity. I think there'd be less motivational for people not to speed. So I think speeding laws are largely bullshit because I think they enforce them in places that it's not really reckless endangerment.
You know what's funny? On the on I-95, the highway that runs down from Maine down to Florida, down through Florida, is like the major East Coast vein.
Yeah.
Speeding enforcement is done almost exclusively in North, South Carolina and Georgia, where the state police don't do it. The local municipalities do it because there's so little industry down there that the only way for them to get income
Make money
is by stealing money from commuters.
Yeah, I've heard of people who've had speed processes, but it's mostly to be for money. But
there's still speed traps in this country. That should be illegal. You're going 55 miles an hour. All of a sudden, it changes to 35, and the cops just sit there and wait.
No. First off, you cannot legitimize the theft. So the theft automatically legitimizes it. Now let's talk about other problems. Now we're stopping roads on the side of a highways and creating a dangerous situation, which you hear cops bitch about all the time. However,
cops get hit by cars all the time.
Not frequently enough, in my opinion.
I don't like police.
I'm okay with most of them. Some are assholes. I think there's a job description that does kind of draw.
Actually, one of the cops that harassed me and my friend and stole one of my firearms, he got hit and killed by a car doing a traffic stop.
I'm much more in line with reform stuff, and I realize that police forces sometimes do draw from a bad crowd, because I think that authoritarians have more of a sense that they might want to go into it. Yeah, there is protection of people. I'm not saying there's not a lot of protection of people, but I'm just saying it does draw in spirits of authoritarians also. But I wouldn't want to get rid of them, and I'm not of the ACAB bunch either.
Hey, guess what? People steal from work, right? So whatever you have access to from at work, you steal a little bit. Everybody always does it. Everybody always has. I had a clothing company in Costa Rica, and we factored it into what we would cut and what we would sew and what we would put out. Our end product, we would do about a 20% inventory loss on, right? And it was fine. You count it in. It's accounted for. But the thing is with cops, what is it that they're stealing? They're stealing the right to commit crimes. Motherfuckers. They coerce women into blowjobs and sex when there's a DUI at risk. Yep. They beat their wives. Dude, they beat their families at 40% rate.
I've heard people feel that, and I've also heard other people say that's not accurate, so I don't know.
I shared a very, very detailed article that had all sites sourced on Facebook about 2 weeks ago. That's a very long-standing fact. And I had right where I live here in a local town. I'm not going to say where I am, but I'm in the greater Philadelphia area. There was a cop that murdered his wife that claimed he was
I remember that
at the time. You know how easy it is. You know how easy it is to kill somebody when you're cleaning a gun, right?
You just point at him and pull the trigger, and it just goes off. And like, I was cleaning it.
If you're done with safety, it's not too hard to shoot someone with a gun by accident. If you're done with safety, yeah.
Dude, if you unload it and don't point it at people, you can't kill somebody with it.
Like I said, if you're done with safety,
yeah.
But
so is that acceptable from law enforcement?
It's not acceptable from anyone. I'm not saying that law enforcement doesn't draw a little bit more of a number of shitheads than other professions necessarily do. But I'm not going to get rid of them. And
the guy murdered his wife. Even the coroner said that the wounds on her body and the powder burns weren't consistent with his story. The guy fucking murdered his goddamn wife.
And if that guy's guilty, he should go to jail for life. But
yeah, but that doesn't fix the dead person. It's the same thing with them, with these cops when they accidentally or unjustly kill somebody. Oh, well, we'll give the family $3 million. What about the dead dude? His life is gone. He's not. There's no bringing him back, man.
Who gives $3 million?
The state.
Who?
Which is us.
Oh, the taxpayers. The
taxpayers.
They pre-extort $3 million from you in expectation of murdering someone.
That is not the light I would throw on it.
Then what would you throw on it? Why would the $3 million be available?
You know, I'd throw on it for the most part. Some bad training with cops, some things that could have gone a different way if people didn't make stupid mistakes, and people doing criminal shit that no, it shouldn't have got them killed. But anytime you have an interaction with the cops and there's any kind of there's a possibility of getting shot, especially if you fight arrest, or if you try to stab them, you've got a good chance of getting shot.
Adrian, you and I should next time. Are you coming up for B-Sides DC or B-Sides Philly?
Do the video. And I know there's at least one whiny bitch up there who whines about he's still doing video for this other group, so I won't go. Unfortunately, that whiny bitch actually has kids. I don't see what a man could be. Oh man, his testosterone count has to be so low. I don't know.
What I would like to do is I would like to meet up with you at a conference, and then we could sneak away for a little while and watch some police brutality videos and just go Mystery Science Theater 3000 on them.
I'm sure there's a bunch of shit.
And you tell me about it from your side, I'll tell you about it from my side, and we could just hash it out and then just let.
Yeah, I'm sure I can find a bunch of cases that are completely legitimate. I've seen other cases where people complain about things, and I'm like, okay, the person was coming at someone else with a knife. He was coming at the cop with a knife. The cop shot him. Maybe there's a chance the taser would have worked. Maybe not. If you come at someone with a weapon and you get shot, I'm not going to feel too sorry for you.
If you're coming at me with a knife,
the sober healthy guy in armor has to use a means of murder to stop a guy who's probably fucked up.
My body armor is not necessarily going to stop all sorts of cuts to my throat, body that could cause out bleeding. Body armor is not perfect.
Coronary arteries in the leg. No, dude, if you put on body armor, you realize how much of your body is not protected.
Yeah, a lot of it.
I have a question for you.
15 years. You realize so much you're vulnerable. It's crazy. And I've been stabbed twice. It's not fun. If somebody came at me with a knife and I had body armor and a taser and a gun, I'd shoot them straight in the face.
Yeah,
I'd go to sleep like a baby.
When you're a low-level bottom feeder, when you're a low-level bottom feeder that has nothing they can contribute to the world other than being a cop, right? When you're that much of a piece of shit, do you not think that signing on as a cop is saying, here, with my signature and acceptance of this badge and this gun, I am admitting to people that my life is less valuable and I am less probable to come home, and that's why I earned this money, and I ought to die before others?
Yeah, I would go die by any means. No, I don't care what my job is. If you're coming at me overnight,
so then these people aren't there to protect situations; they're there to protect their own lives.
They're there to protect this person, or protect other people. This guy might stab also.
No.
Go after a cop.
Well, no. Because if you're not going to admit the first part is true, then it becomes true in the second part that they're there to protect their own lives. And you hear them say it all the time.
Yeah, I gotta make two of the cases I'm thinking of was someone attacked a cop with a knife. They had previously threatened. I think it was in those two cases. I'm trying to remember the case. I think one guy threatened his own mom. The cop showed up, and it might have been moms in both cases. Yeah. They showed up because they was like threatening other people with knives, and they threatened the cop with a knife. Guess what? The cop has a gun and a taser. What he's going to choose? Well,
so all right, cool. So you watch some propaganda that aggrandizes cops, and that was the situation where he saved the day.
Why footage what the news media normally puts out? So yeah, it's not propaganda. And the same thing can be said for you as far as propaganda. Some cops do bad things. I fully admit those bad shootings. I
am 100%. I am 100% a freedom propagandist. I'm 100%. I would never deny that.
It's not a propaganda though that some criminals do some stupid shit and get shot. Sometimes,
criminals do stupid shit. Criminals do stupid shit, and the great majority of criminals have badges.
And not the great majority of criminals have badges.
Oh yes, the great majority of victim creators have badges. If you're Well, yeah, there's also the victim creators that wear robes.
I was a criminal.
They're buddies. They're different parts of the same gang.
Every single one of me and my friends, we deserve to be shot dead because we were just a leech on society. We weren't doing anything good. We were up to no good.
So you're so self-deprecating that you think that you should die?
No, but if I'm in the act of committing a violent felony, I should be shot.
Well, hold on. Listen.
If I put up resistance, if I'm pulling out a gun or using a knife, You know what I mean? Which if a cop came at me, I got no problem wasting him. Back in those days,
Hold on.
you know, it was me or him.
You do realize not returning a library book is a felony.
By the way, in case somebody's confused about the case I'm talking about, I'm not talking about those.
Yeah, that lady got charged with a felony for
If anybody's
21 years.
That's
government excellence.
I'm not referring to the recent case.
But I'm just saying.
I'm not referring to the recent. Let me finish this real quick so people don't get confused. I'm not referring to the recent case in Columbus, Ohio. There wasn't a cop that was people coming at with the knife. It was one girl attacking another girl with the knife. I'm talking about cases before that where it was a dude rushing the cop with a knife after previously threatening with someone. So this is a different. Those two different cases. Actually, 3 different cases. Sorry, continue.
Imagine this. Imagine I call you up and I'm like, dude, I got $100 bet that you can beat a girl with like a 15-year-old girl. You'd be like, I'll take that bet. I can beat the shit out of a 15-year-old girl, no problem. I'm like, she's got a knife. You would still have no problem saying yes to I'll go beat the shit out of a 15-year-old girl.
Yeah, I'd have some problems because I could even a small woman that was way physically stronger than her, she's gonna be able to slice my ass up pretty bad.
Stop being a pussy. It's a 15-year-old girl.
Yeah, it's a 15-year-old girl with a fucking knife.
Yeah. Yep.
Have you been stabbed that many times before?
No. You know why? Because I don't get my ass kicked. Because I'm faster and smarter than a 15-year-old.
I've been in roughly, and this is not bragging, I'm actually embarrassed about this, but I've been in about 15 or 20 knife fights. They're not fun. They suck. And I've only been stabbed twice. Once by a man, once by a woman. And both times they got lucky. But I've taken a lot of knives away from a lot of people. I used to work as a bouncer. If you don't have any skills, you're in trouble. It's that simple.
It is not hard at all to. You know what? Let's stop saying taking candy from a baby and let's start using.
Next time we find a 15-year-old girl, a knife, and Nathan, we'll see what's going to happen.
I had a 15-year-old girl put a knife on me when I was 17.
Actually, what was the offer for me
I took my shirt off, wrapped it around both hands, and she couldn't get next to me.
Yeah. Well, actually, what was the offer again? What was the offer? What was the offer to fight a 15-year-old girl with a knife? What was in it for the person fighting the 15-year-old girl?
$100.
No way! I'm not getting my ass stabbed for $100 for damn sure.
Oh! I thought you meant for me. I said $100, and I was like, if I got to do it, $100.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's not a good idea. It's real easy to get cut, real easy to get stabbed, and quite frankly, I haven't been significantly cut or stabbed by anyone but myself. But I don't want it to happen for someone else. And quite frankly, a 15-year-old girl has plenty of strength to find some place to jab my fat ass before I can do much about it. Other than keep it at arm's length, maybe win. If she has no surprise, how do you put it this way? I'm not taking a good chance of getting stabbed, even if I might win for $100.
Hey, Nathan,
Dude,
let me
you're going
and
after
there's a morality
one
issue, but
arm.
what's that?
Nathan,
You're just going after one arm.
Nathan, let me put this a better way, because what I said, I didn't really say what I meant. I meant that a lot of my friends had murdered people and hurt people and stuff. And what I'm saying is, if they were caught in the act, right, and somebody had either a cop or somebody had to defend themselves and they shot them, it wouldn't be a great loss to the world. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, no, I'm not in disagreement with that. However, let's look at the facts. Cops show up several minutes later. There should have been somebody on scene with a gun. If we didn't trust them,
the cop is never there. The cop is never there. Ever.
Unless I'm spending a lot of money, a security agency won't be there either.
Yeah, they will if they're walking with you.
How much am I paying these people to constantly follow me around and do that?
Dude, the cops used to patrol the streets. They don't patrol the streets anymore. They drive by every once in a while. Cops used to walk the streets. They don't walk the streets anymore. If I have a private security agency,
if I was actually have them 24/7 around me where they could always react, that would be hugely expensive.
Yeah, but you got to remember, you're armed also.
As long as they let us keep that, okay, that's good.
What I'm saying, you're armed also. It's not just them and you're disarmed. You're armed and you have them in case there's a mob or something that you can't deal with.
The further worst case scenario I see would be if they, got rid of all cops and then also restricted what self-defense you could use.
Yeah, no, that'd be garbage. Yeah, we're not talking about that.
Unfortunately, I think that's what would happen. I hope Nathan didn't leave because he's pissed at us. But,
No. He was having problems with his phone.
okay. Oh, you know something I need to try eventually. Apparently, StreamYard now has a phone app. If I read something it showed me on the introduction, I think logged in. Apparently, a bunch of new features.
I have the phone app. Let me check. I think I have the phone app.
Yeah, we had very low phone app.
No, I
a little bit better as time went by.
Yeah, no, I don't have it. Don't have the phone app. I have to download it.
That was the impression I got. At least there is one in this. I logged back into StreamYard and it took in a bunch of new features that they're supposed to have that I haven't used yet.
Yeah, cool.
But we'll shoot the shit for a little bit more and wait to see if we get a reattach. But I don't know if things reattach.
Is Frank still on?
No, Frank's not on anymore.
Okay. So it's just me and you?
Yeah, it's just me and you. Just me and you, kid.
Hopefully Nathan will be back on pretty soon.
Yeah, you also have a different experiences than I do because I pretty much always lived in mostly suburban to rural, and I hear there's a huge difference.
Yeah, well, I've always lived in the center of the city, and then again, it's Portland, Oregon. It's not exactly a crime capital,
Well, see, I've been here about Portland, Oregon. One of the bigger problems, police aren't doing anything.
Yeah.
And then again, I also heard they're told not to. So.
Yeah, no, it's just horrible here. They decriminalized using any drug. People were smoking meth in the middle of the sidewalk when my fiance and I were going to the doctor. They were just straight smoking meth. They decriminalized possession. They decriminalized use. But it just
The show notes are kind of useless yet. At least these week sticky. Sometimes Vicky was asking in the chat about things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to live in Portland. No offense to your city.
Well, Frank just moved here. I took Frank on a tour of the little Antifa hangout and then showed him where that guy got shot, and I showed him where they beat up the Portland Democratic National whatever Portland Democratic whatever.
Yeah,
Democratic headquarters or whatever. We went walking around. Autumn, me and Frank went around walking around.
But if I ever happen to come to Portland, if I have the opportunity, I'll keep my head low and go in disguise, and you can show me places.
No, dude, it's not that bad. We just walk. There's no. If you're walking around during the daytime, it's not a problem. If you're not at where they're riding, which is just the downtown, Antifa, it's mostly the tourists that Tim Pool talks about.
Huh.
It's not mostly people that live here. Same with the Proud Boys. There's like 4 Proud Boys that live here. All the ress of them flying from out of town. It's all out of town action.
Flew in from out of town,
when you're walking the street, everybody's just normal.
Or drove in.
Like punk rockers and stuff, but and social justice warriors, but they don't say nothing to anybody. They're not violent or anything. They're just normal people. The news has pumped it up to be something that's that it's not.
So things are more chilled in than what people are saying. Some people are staying on, let's say, more right-leaning media.
Yeah.
Okay. The only stuff that happened bad in Louisville was sometime over the summer. Or the big one. There's been a few bad. One thing I can think of as far as throughout vandalism was they seem to have totally fucked up 4th Street Live. I'm sure they fucked up some other things too. And I know there was. I want to say the cops stopped somebody here in a protest, not Breonna Taylor. That was the major part of the reason why there was riots in Louisville, because he's from Louisville. But the incidents in Louisville, at least, haven't been as bad as what I've heard from others. Then again, until recently, I hadn't been across the bridge in almost a year.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that's not true. I went over on Thanksgiving for eat after almost a year not being there, and we had to drive back across because the restaurant was closed. places I've heard of more problems would be something like Seattle and Portland, and I think was it Austin that had a big issue?
Yeah, Austin too.
Well, that's why my ass is staying at home, staying away from any protest where there was a high potential for violence.
Tim Pool moved out to the boonies. He's got a nice little compound there. Have you seen the video?
I've seen some
of his compound with the BMX rider where he's showing the ramps in the house and everything.
Oh, I haven't seen that one. Apparently,
they just show the outside of the house. I can send it to you if you want.
Yeah, there's enough information out there. I don't know exactly his house is. There's enough information out there where someone has at least sort of doxed him, and someone else was looking at his property and they showed his mansion. I'm like, I don't know if this is a good idea. But
he's somewhere in Maryland.
I wouldn't say that. But yeah, he
supposedly, I don't know.
He has a very nice place.
Yeah, no, it's nice.
I get the impression he invites over guests, and the guests crash with him. Like the night.
That's what it seems like. Yeah, that's cool. Or there's a hotel nearby. It seems like they stay at a hotel too.
Now, the guy I like when they have him on there is Michael Malice.
Oh, I love Michael Malice. Michael Malice is an ANCAPper. Yeah, I love Michael Malice. He's awesome.
I guess he'd be put in the ANCAP category. I know he definitely identifies as an anarchist. An anarchist, and he definitely doesn't seem to identify with anything close to communism. So I guess ANCAP probably is the next. It would be the thing he is.
Well, I mean, he's a free market guy, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's ANCAP, you know. No government, free market. It's all.
Have you read any of his books? I haven't read Dear Reader, but I have.
No.
I have listened to The New Right, and The New Right's interesting, and I'm kind of interested in Dear Leader, or Dear Reader.
My health has been pretty crap lately, and I'm starting to feel a little bit better. And I'm starting to work on making knives, so that's going to take up all my time. I'm not going to have time for anything else.
I used to do something as a kid, but probably not nearly as ornate as what you're doing.
Nice. Yeah. Well, if you want, I can send you one if you want to try one out. Right now, I'm just making pairing. I'm just taking like little Victorinox paring knives, putting my edge on them, and then making a Kydex sheath for them so you can have a neck knife. Mm-hmm. And so it's like a good fishing blade or just light utility, so you don't even know you have it on, you know, but you always have a knife on you. And it's small enough for you not to get in trouble. Most of the places.
I've seen a lot of people really seem to like neck knives. I've seen people do articles and other things on them, and or videos at least. And I don't know where else I'd want to ever carry a neck knife versus like pocket knife though. Is it? I guess.
Well, I can make it where you can either pocket carry it or belt.
Okay, but I just don't understand why.
I can give you the option to do all the above. Well, neck carry is because it's not on your side. It's completely concealed. You know what I mean? And it doesn't poke into you. You don't know it's there, and it's always there. It's all you just reach up under your shirt and boom, you got a knife.
T-shirt all the time. I'm pretty sure
really quick.
Unless it's a stupid small knife, those feet underneath my shirt.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't print at all. Currently,
I got one of those. What are they called? 847 knife from is it Boca? They make an automatic knife, a bunch of different automatic knives underneath the flash.
Oh, the Boca AK-47.
Yeah, I got one of those that I carry.
Nice.
And I like it pretty well. They made it legal in Indiana to have automatic knives.
You can have them. You can have them here. I have a Lightning. Here, I'll show you. This is an out the front knife. This knife is pretty. Is like $35-$40, but it's out the front.
Yeah. Who said make that one?
Works. It's by Lightning. This one's a Lightning Elite. It's a little bit nicer than the other Lightnings, but it's just a Lightning. See, they're like $35-$40.
Oh, now how lightweight is it? Because I have I have a few side openers and I have a few out the front knives.
This one's kind of chunky. It's all steel. Basically what they basically did is copy Microtech's out the front, and they copied that, and they just use cheaper components. Everything's steel instead of aluminum or titanium.
Okay. So the better out the front knives are probably lighter weight than the ones I own.
Well, they have better steel. This is like, you know, not that good of a steel.
Yeah, but the weight of what they have and so forth, and that knives I have, I still like Kalashnikov better.
Yeah, no, the Boker knife is awesome. The AK-47 knife is cool.
I look at some of the prices of the high end though out the front knives, and I'm like, eat gas. This costs more than guns.
$400 or $500 at least. Yeah, I wouldn't buy one. That's why I bought the cheaper model because I just like playing with it. I don't like. I mean, it's cool, but I don't see myself spending $500 on it.
Yeah, I don't see that either.
As soon as you start to get into gun money, I'm done with knives.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Me too, largely speaking. I got a few nice ones I inherited from my uncle, but I got this cute little Damascus steel patch knife. I guess it's also a neck knife. It's designed to go in your neck.
Yeah, patch knives are cool. Those are old ones.
His is probably not old, but it's made to be in the old style. My uncle used to do
old style. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's an old style. Yeah, that's what I meant.
My uncle used to do mountain man events.
Cool. Yeah.
And so he'd go out and do the whole recreation thing. And I'd go out and throw tomahawks and crap.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's the type of stuff that men need to do, man. You know, they need to get out of the house and do manly stuff. You know, that's what we're built for.
Then I I had a vacation and a couple of evenings of a little bit too much meat, and my vacation was meant to be all hiking and shit, and it turned into less hiking than I expected. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, that's all right, man. You know,
I filmed a bunch of stuff, or recorded a bunch of stuff. Why the hell I filmed? Yeah, I recorded a bunch of stuff when I was out at Charlestown State Park, but I haven't posted it yet.
Yeah, I mean, the whole point of a vacation is enjoy yourself. If you enjoy drinking, drink. You know.
Well, there's diminishing returns to that.
Yeah, I mean, there is, but there's I've noticed that there's two styles to drinking. You know, there's binge drinking, and then like for real, I can drink all day and not get trashed.
What exactly are you drinking and not getting trashed?
Anything. I can drink Black Velvet. I can drink cognac.
And you say you're like 190 pounds. Like how much of a fifth of 80 proof vodka can you drink in a day?
Oh, I could drink the whole bottle. I'd be blind though, but I could drink half of it easy.
Okay, that I've known people. I've known people to outdo that.
I can drink the whole thing too. I'd be shit faced. Like, look, okay, like you saw me on St. Patty's Day.
Okay.
We got a half gallon of Jameson, right?
I hate to tell you this, I don't remember St. Patty's Day very well. I was having a bad. I don't remember. I don't remember what you were like on St. Patty's Day because I was not in good shape myself.
Go back and watch the podcast. But me and my fiance drank 2/3 of that half gallon.
Ah.
You know, but you just sip it. You just sip it slowly. You don't take shots. You just take sips. You know, and set it. Don't walk around with your drink in your hand. Just set it down. You know, hey Israel.
Yep.
What is up?
What's up? You just got on maybe a more controversial stream, but as long as you don't say anything controversial, it's all good, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty rare that I say something controversial. So yeah, how you guys been?
I've been all right.
Yeah. I've been
come on more, but
yeah, life has gotten quite busy. So
didn't you have another child?
Yeah, like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
it phases together, especially when you do it online. When you talk only online, wait, when did he have the last kid, and how old is that kid? Like I'm still like Charles's kid. Is he like 3 years old, 4 years old now? I don't.
Yeah, she is pretty close in age to my oldest, and I think she's a little bit older, but my oldest is like 2.5 now, and I think she is somewhere close in there. So yeah.
And when I first met you, I think it was when I first met your wife, because I think I met you before. Was a camping trip out to Mary's place?
Actually, in person, yeah, that was the first time you met her. So yeah, you and I met before that, but yeah, that was the first time you met her. Yeah,
because we met. I think we actually met. Do we actually via this cast?
We met at a couple different conferences here and there, and then I was like, "Hey, Adrian, can I join the cast?" Because I was bored, and so I jumped on, and yeah, kind of went from there.
I've had so many people on and off that I forget, how I met everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's been like four iterations of this cast because I've been following it since like cast 9.
Oh,
Yeah.
And I've seen like four different iterations of people, like main core people, come on and off. Because you've been doing this cast now for what, 6 years, 7 years?
That long. I think I started in early 2017 because I'm pretty sure it was before some of my family died. I'm pretty sure I started it. I was at work for a retreat, and at the hotel room I was bored, so I decided to stop.
I think it might have been 2016 before Trump got elected.
No, I'm pretty sure it was 2017 because I explicitly
2017.
I'm pretty sure because I pretty explicitly remember sitting in a hotel room because I was at work for a retreat and getting bored and starting the cast then. And
yeah, you might be right. Early 2017 sounds right. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And I know that same retreat was the same retreat during that same period. My uncle died, and then 12 days later, Mom went. And
yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to think when I started doing it. Well, Adrian, what was that? Probably like mid to late 2018. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, 2018.
You know, the style of the show changes way more though if Caprico or Frank on it, because originally it was more shoot the shit with some security, then it became actual security, and some more security, and now it's shoot the shit again, at least for the time being.
Yeah.
Crazy shit that people will quote out of context, I'm sure.
It is what it is. So, Adrian, how you been?
Yes.
I haven't talked to you in, half a thought. So
same old shit, different day, but I don't want to talk about all of it online.
Yeah, that's good. Jason,
not naming any names. You see my Facebook feed.
Oh, I've been all right.
I get it.
I've had some health issues that I fought through, and my fiance was sick, and my mom had cancer. But I've gotten through it, and I'm getting better. So I'm actually getting work done now, finally, which is good.
Yeah.
I started to do knife making.
Really?
Yeah, it makes me happy.
I 100,000% want to come back to that. So how is your mom doing though? Is your mom
Good.
doing good?
She just had her last little bit of cancer to get killed, and then she had an infusion today, and that's it.
Okay.
And she's done. So she had like four months of treatment. My fiance was in the hospital for 2.5 months with a brain infection.
Really?
Which is really scary.
Like, what brought that on?
Well, she has hydrocephalus. She had it since she was 6 months old.
Okay.
So the fluid in her head doesn't drain right. And so they have shunts in her head. And what happened is they took out the shunts, put them back in. She got sick again. This was in December. They did that like 4 times. So she was in and out of the hospital for a month. And then the last time they did it, she got an infection, and they couldn't figure out where the infection was coming from. And they found out what happened is because she has a tube that brings it from her head down to her stomach, and that tube had poked a hole in her intestine, and the bacteria went all the way up the tube and infected her brain. And so they had to kill the infection, and that took 1.5 months of IV 6 different IV antibiotics. That was bad.
I mean, that definitely sounds bad. I'm not gonna lie. The initial thing I was thinking of was like Alien, right?
Yeah.
So hopefully, it sounds like she's way better than Alien. To start with.
Yeah.
But is she doing? Is she doing pretty good now, though?
Yeah, she's doing a lot better today.
Cool.
We just went to the doctor. They checked her out, and she's doing good.
Yeah.
I was feeling like crap from like 2018 until 2020. They found out that my blood pressure was going up. I had high blood pressure, so they had to get that under control. And then when my mom and my fiance were sick, I was getting stressed out, and they started giving me migraines. So they gave me medicine and got the migraines under control. So I'm actually starting to be a functioning human being again and get work done. So I'm very happy.
That's good. Did you kind of figure out why there was potentially the high blood pressure happening?
They think it's just genetic. And my
Okay.
sister has high blood pressure too.
Interesting.
But it just makes you high blood pressure and low blood pressure just makes you feel miserable. You get headaches and you get fatigued and you can't think and you get real irritable. I was just not myself. I was just, and you're sick all day long. And they call it the silent killer because you really can't tell what's going on. You really don't feel that much different, except you feel sick and they can't figure out what's going on. So luckily they found it out.
Yeah, because blood pressure is definitely one of those things you want to keep a track on. Like, I work out every day, I check my blood pressure every day, but I know early in the morning, like my blood pressure is super, super low. And like 90/50. I mean, super low. And
wow.
Yeah. But throughout the day, it rises up, And
at night it's higher. It's high.
Yeah. And so I just always make sure that it's kind of in that normal range by nighttime. Because if it gets for me too low, it's something I need to check out. But as long as it gets up to that normal range, like it's usually pretty okay. But blood
and then
pressure is usually a pretty strong indicator that something else is happening. So
and then my sister has this other disease that I got checked for because it's also genetic. So while they're checking that, I don't have the disease that she has, but they found out that I have calcification in both my hip tendons, and that's why I was getting pain when I was sleeping.
So
I have to go on walks every day to keep everything going.
Yeah, because that's kind of a early sign of arthritis, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, they don't. Yeah, they're not sure why it causes. Sometimes it just goes away by itself, but they're not sure. But it just like when I was sleeping, my hips would hurt, and I'd wake up. I'd have to roll over, and my hip would be killing me. I'd have a lot of pain. A lot of times it happens in people's shoulder. They get calcification when they lift weights. They get calcification in the rotator cuff.
Yeah.
They get calcification in the rotator cuff, and that keeps the pain because it's really bad pain. It keeps them up, and I already have chronic pain, so it's just it's like icing on top of the cake that I don't need. One thing after
definitely. Yeah, there's a couple things because I have similar issues here and there. One of the things I do, obviously, like fish oil, is good to help with the joints and everything.
I started taking different vitamins and stuff because that really helps a lot. Niacin, everybody was telling me about niacin because I also have ADHD. They're telling me to take niacin, not the kind that doesn't make you flush, the kind that makes you flush. So I've gotten it where I can take 500 milligrams a day without getting all red.
Yeah, and two, another benefit of niacin, it actually helps the body absorb other nutrients.
Yeah, it's really good.
Pretty cool.
And I'm taking magnesium and stuff too. Magnesium is good also.
Yeah. So where your body would normally say you take 100 milligrams of X, right?
Right.
Whatever it is, having niacin in the picture too, it allows the body to absorb almost 100% of whatever you're taking. It just increases it where say normally you would only absorb 70-80%. The niacin actually increases it to the point where it's almost absorbing 100% of it.
Well, that's the problem with taking vitamins versus getting it in your food because it doesn't fit right.
Correct.
You only get this, and the niacin allows it to get better stuff.
Yeah.
Better absorption.
One thing you could look into, I'm not going to push anything.
No, anything helps. Information is good.
BPC 157. It is a compound, a peptide that is a research compound, but BPC, body protection compound, but it's naturally found within your stomach, within your just kind of gastric everything.
Digestive gut.
Yeah, your digestive system, but it's something that helps your body to kind of naturally repair. And so BPC 157 is one of those compounds that, it's not steroidal, not anything from a negative, not going to influence your hormone. I'll tell you offline.
Okay.
But
because I have fibromyalgia, so my body doesn't heal.
Oh, yeah. Something like BPC could definitely be a massive benefit then, especially in that case.
Now, I know Jason hasn't, at least unless he's done it since I talked to him last much about it. But have you tried Delta 8, Israel?
No.
It's somewhere in between, and this is going to be someone's actually into cannabinoids. Is going to say that what I'm about to say is stupid because it's probably not entirely accurate. But it's somewhere between normal THC and CBD. But it is another cannabinoid. It is derived from the hemp plant.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't take any of that stuff because I'm on a. They have to UA me for a medication, and it looks like I'm using drugs. If otherwise, it's a big headache.
Yeah, the Delta 8
otherwise, I would.
Yeah, the Delta 8 stuff will make you pop. My understanding for THC because it's close enough chemically, or some of the derivatives in the body are what they detect on. Because my understanding, if you take enough Delta 8, it will be detected as marijuana usage.
Yeah.
You were telling me about that Delta 8, Adrian, offline. You were telling me about that. Yeah.
Yeah. BPC won't show up as like a cannabinoid or anything like that. I mean,
that's cool.
Even if you're looking at like a bodybuilding type of perspective, like even on a WADA panel, it won't show up like there either. It is something. It does not, like from a bodybuilding perspective, give you a hormonal like benefit. Like it is just something that purely can help your like tendons and everything else regenerate.
Yeah, because with fibromyalgia, your body just doesn't heal right. There's something going on where it's just messed up, and if you hurt yourself, it takes longer and it doesn't heal completely.
Yeah,
it's just a pain.
Yeah,
and
dude, I tell you what, I'm liking that beard. Like,
oh yeah,
yeah, heck yeah, man, that's looking good. Like, I can't do that. Like, you know, I got
patches.
Yeah, I've
got
I got a lot of Indian in me. You know, Apache here.
I've got
Apache
patches
there. So yeah.
Well, the thing is if you let it all grow out big, it covers itself up. Like the patches.
That's what I've heard.
Because when my hair was shorter like this, I only can go like a little chin strap beard thingy.
Nice. See, if Adrian would come on camera, like we could see probably a comparable beard to yours right now.
I think that is off.
I've had a beard that is. I've had a beard that is not as long as his, but probably wider than Jason's. But
you had a good one. You had a big bushy one like this.
Yeah.
It was gigantic. Oh, you got a little
not
beard.
bad. Yeah, I mean, like you got to let it grow, but you got some really good coverage though. Like, you've always had very good coverage.
Yeah, he's got all the way. It's all the way up to here on him.
Yeah,
muzzle loader.
Yeah, he's got like the
nice,
like full blown Wolverine beard going.
Yeah,
on, right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I have to shave. I know some parts. I think I have to shave down this middle part and leave the long sideburns.
See,
my hair don't get that spiky.
Right.
I'm also about a foot taller than Wolverine. From the comic books.
Unless somebody breaks his legs and he just naturally heals taller.
Taller, yeah. Or they could do that little thing where it makes you taller, where they put the thing outside the bone and they ratchet it and make it stretch. It breaks a little bit and stretches a little more.
Yeah.
Oh, you tell who the picture is above me? I'll get closer and closer.
No.
I can't tell who that is.
Hang on a second. Okay, Google. Living room lights on. I was thinking something. Let me see if I can get it up there.
Yeah, you think that's going to help me? That's not going to help me.
It's Charlton Heston. Shit.
Is it really?
Lights off.
Do you have a little picture?
I almost said Barack Obama.
Yeah, I have.
I almost said Barack Obama.
It's not a very good picture, but. Here we go.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
I almost said Barack
like
Obama.
actually, there I can see.
Then I thought Ross Perot.
In a blurry version, I can see Ross Perot. I can see that. I'm not sure I can see Obama, but I can see how it looks like
with the light. Makes the picture look darker with the lights on.
Like I'm gonna be hanging that back up without standing up. But yeah. I used to have it, strangely enough, in the bathroom, right on top of the back of the toilet. That's before I hung this gun, just so it'd be weird for people whenever they walked in and it had Charlton Heston there, or it may be on top of the sink. I don't know.
Yeah. So how was that whenever you went into the bathroom, though, or did you just not use that bathroom?
I just made simple, casual eye contact and did what I needed to do.
Oh well, see, I mean that could work. as long as you guys have that mutual agreement, you know,
Yeah.
like he's in the bathroom, you're in the bathroom, y'all know what's going on.
Obviously, because I'm a Second Amendment advocate, that's not exactly the right term. I am a proponent. Is that the right way? Because I don't actually do enough that I would consider an advocate. Those people who call themselves
proponent,
advocate,
strong proponent, strong believer in.
But I'd be hard pressed to call myself an activist for it by any means. Advocate,
Yeah,
yes.
I got a cat.
Activist, no, because I don't get that involved, and I don't go to any protests, and I don't write my congressman or anything like that. Though I do choose who I vote for based partly on Second Amendment.
I got a cat yesterday.
You got a kitty cat?
Yeah. Speaking of guns, I got a cat yesterday. Yeah. I mean, that was the best segue ever.
They're like indoor alarm things. You know, you can see the cat freak out before somebody comes in. You have dogs for the outside, cats for the inside. But yeah, I got a cat because I was babysitting.
You could have dogs on the inside. You know,
just Frank's cat, and then it made me want to get a cat. So they picked up their cat, and the Humane Society called me the next day and told me to come pick this one up, and I picked him up. So I got a cat now.
They sound very demanding. Like you will come.
They want to get they want to get them out. Yeah, they want to get the animals out as quick as possible. You know, sometimes you hear it's a long process. I think people are actually mixing that up with children, adopting children, not animals. You know what I mean? Because it was very quick. They called me, and the next day I went and picked it up.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a lot easier to adopt pets than it is children.
Yeah, as much as I want to make sure pets are getting adopted by the right people, I'd put a little bit more priority on making sure children are adopted by good people than pets. Even though pets are
they interviewed me and everything. It was crazy. They had me make sure that I was cool with his temperament and all this stuff, and I had to go see him first and all. It was a thing, but it was quick. It just went though. You know, you went and did it, and it was done, which was surprisingly efficient. You know,
I used to spend a lot of time away from home, and so I didn't think I could have a pet. It's extra responsibility. Also, I have a problem with exchanging affection with anything hairier than I am.
Well, I mean, granted though, like if you're talking about a cat, I mean, like you are going to be ultimately hairier than a cat. So
you're in total volume, yes.
Yeah.
Not per capita, but volume.
Yeah. I mean,
well, cats can usually take care of themselves. You know, they're pretty self-sufficient.
Yeah, I tell you what, like the dogs, because I have two cats, 2 dogs. The cats are the things that are the easier ones, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I have a self-cleaning litter box that goes into the washer drain.
Get one of those big feeders, and you never have to deal with them, and a big water thing, and that's it.
Yeah,
you don't have to deal with them at all.
Make sure they got water. Make sure they got food. The self-cleaning litter box, and
that's it.
Yeah, the dogs. No, you're not going to do that with dogs.
You got to wash them. You got to walk them.
Yeah. Jake said some shelters make you jump through more hoops than others. That is accurate.
Yeah, this is the first time I ever adopted a cat from the Humane Society. Usually I'm taking them to dispose of the bodies. You know?
Yeah, I do have to say it is kind of weird that like paying for a cat. Right? Like dogs,
because I used to get them all free.
Paying for. Yeah.
Yeah, paying for cats, but
I totally get paying for a dog. Paying for a cat, I don't know. Like, I guess how much did it cost to adopt a cat?
It was $85, and
did that include like spayed or neutering?
Yeah, he was already spayed. He was already neutered. I mean, he was a boy cat. He's already neutered. He's only 2 years old. He was already neutered. They gave like every shot he ever needed. Gave him a health check. Fixed his teeth. You know, like got the tartar off. And I mean, they like took care of him.
Really?
He's kind of underweight. Yeah, they did a whole bunch of stuff. There's like a list of this much stuff that they did.
For $85. Like, I wonder if I could just
it's a good deal.
Yeah, I wonder if I could go to that vet and they could like get the tartar off my teeth. That's like not a bad deal, right?
Self-cleaning litter box is worth the money. And 100%. I don't know, I can imagine it would be. I didn't used to think robotic vacuum cleaners were worth the money until I got one. And my carpets are far better looking now. I remember taking a picture of my carpet a few months before I think I got it, the vacuum cleaner, and it was bad.
Well, I mean, but Brandon, you got to remember the
with
pictures that you were displaying online, like you were laid out naked on the carpet. So, I mean, once we get you off the carpet, then we can actually judge how that carpet actually looks. And Jake, yes, the self-cleaning litter boxes, 100,000% totally worth the money. But
that's the one thing I don't miss about a cat is digging through the litter box to clean out cat turds.
Yeah,
that self-cleaning. The clumping litter is good. This litter is actually awesome. It's the world's best cat litter. It's like made out of corn or something.
Okay.
And it actually clumps. I used to get the newspaper stuff, but when a cat would piss, it would just dissolve into disgusting. This one actually clumps and it keeps the odor down a lot.
We're really actually talking truly self-cleaning, like mechanical robotic, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind one of those. How much are they?
Yes.
I wouldn't mind getting one.
Oh, good night. It's probably been like 6-7 years since I bought mine, but
I wouldn't mind getting a Roomba either.
Amazon.
Yeah, I think it was around like $250 somewhere in there.
Wow.
But the biggie to make sure is that either one, it does not have like solutions that you have to consistently repurchase.
Yeah.
Because that's where they get you. Or two, make sure if it does have that you can modify, quote unquote, modify it, right? Wink, wink. So that you can bypass, their way of repurchasing their solutions and use your own solutions. So like my self-cleaning litter box, you're supposed to purchase this, I don't know, some type of concoction that cleans the litter box once a week or whatever.
Some kind of disinfectant or something?
Yeah. And it costs, I don't know, $10, I don't know, $15. But over time, that becomes a pretty big expense. So, actually, if you purchase it from them. So
here's another brilliant segue. LastPass.
Okay.
Remember we were talking about LastPass? And how software becomes this hassle, but I had to switch to Bitwarden because they changed it where you have to, if you want it for more than one device, you have to start paying subscription. I will not pay a subscription for a piece of software. Either it's open source, free and open source, and you let me use it, and I can give you money if I want to, or I buy the thing and that's it. I don't want to pay something forever for a piece of software. That's crazy.
So and I'm not arguing that point. I totally agree. It's a massive pain in the ass. Do you utilize Amazon, Google? Like, who is that? You have people
my fiance
sneaking up behind you.
Yeah, it's my fiance. She's
I think he wanted to say real quick. Liquor in general isn't an issue when people only drink very small amounts. One serving of red wine, for instance, at most. But that doesn't mean one serving of red wine a day won't cause damage. Apparently, some research out there.
True.
Yes. Don't know where that was applying. But yes.
Oh, we were talking about liquor earlier.
Wine.
No, we got a chat on the side that you probably don't see. I don't know if you see.
Yeah, probably not.
I was reading it. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I did see that. Red wine, definitely 100%. The different antioxidants within it, 100% better than most of the other liquors out there. Like if you're going to talk about spirits or beer, red wine, you're actually going to get a little bit of a benefit out of it compared to liquors or spirits and regular beer. So 100% agree. Shoot, what were you saying, Jason?
We were talking about the software. Software is a subscription.
Yeah. So
subscription software.
Do you use anything at all? Do you use Amazon Music? Do you use
No.
Sirius XM? Do you use
No.
any? No. Okay.
Nothing.
Yeah.
You're lucky if you have a Patreon. If you got a $1 thing, I might give you $1 a month. If I really like what
crap.
you do.
I keep meaning on getting one of those set up just for Jason to send me $1 a month.
I would like to pay for money, pay money to, but my Scottish heritage keeps me from doing that.
I set up a Patreon. I got all this stuff set up. I haven't used it because I was stupid and sick. It's driving me crazy. I got stuff to do. I don't have time to be sick. I really don't. I've got so much to do. It's crazy.
I was talking about paying other people's Patreons or paying to other people's subscription services.
Oh, yeah.
YouTubers who have side subscription services. Like I said, I'm too Scottish to pay.
Yeah. Well, I'm Jewish, so I'm not going to do it either.
Adrian was actually talking about the OnlyFans that he subscribed to, but outside of that.
I don't know how many people actually know that in modern times, but Scrooge McDuck was actually meant to be an ethnic stereotype.
Yeah, he was Scottish guy.
Yeah, not many people think of that stereotype anymore, but when Scrooge McDuck first came out,
of a Scottish guy, yeah. Cheap and
there was
hoarding
a
his money.
stereotype back in the early 20th century that Scottish people were incredibly cheap.
And so Scottish individuals were supposed to be like cheap and
that was one of the
their money and I didn't know that.
That's why Scrooge McDuck is Scottish.
Interesting.
They went with all the stereotypes, you know.
Nice.
Well, some stereotypes.
Yeah. I got new glasses too. I got 2 pairs of glasses. I got these ones, and I got the other ones. Mine, I had mine for like 10 years. They were falling apart. I had them like jury rigged together. It was embarrassing. I got these ones, and I got these ones. I have to have bifocals now. I'm that old.
Well, did you get the ones without the line?
What?
With the line. Ones, you don't
my vision is too bad to have the progressive line. I can't see.
Yeah, I have bifocals also, but mine is good enough to where I have bifocals because close it's a problem, but you can't actually see the line on these because I can't remember what they call it, but I think it was called gradual in
progressive.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call this lens AOC, and I'm gonna call this lens. Oh, actually, people I like better. We'll call it progressives. I'll say Jimmy Dore and I guess maybe Tulsi Gabbard. She counts as a progressive.
There you go. Yeah, she's anti-Second Amendment though. For some, if she was Second Amendment, and same thing with Dan Crenshaw. If he wasn't a sellout, he's not perfect.
Well, I don't think he has the same ideas in mind that Tulsi does. But yeah, the only thing I actually had against Tulsi off the top of my head that I saw, I didn't like a gun control plan. Dan,
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think any of his plans are as bad, but my understanding he has expressed some
red flag laws.
Red flag laws. Yes, he's expressed some support for red flag laws.
Yeah.
Red walk. I can't even speak tonight. Red
in the
flag
80s,
laws.
In the 80s and the early 90s, they shut down all the mental health institutions, the state-run whatever. And there's crazy people the whole street. This is by design. So you can't have mental health. It's so hard to get somebody when they're not okay into facility. If they don't want to go, they don't go. You can't get somebody, put in for their own safety anymore. And you got all these homeless walking around. You have tents everywhere. It's crazy. There's somebody losing it every 5 minutes outside of my apartment. It's crazy. It is so sad because they don't have to be like that. I mean, I know institutionalized is horrible too, but it's a better form of life than crapping on the street, eating out of garbage cans.
Because you're in Portland, right? Or where are you at?
Yeah, Portland. Frank just moved here too.
What? Oh,
yeah, Frank Trez.
Okay,
yeah.
That's interesting. That actually paints a bigger picture. So yeah, that really brings on a sticky subject, though, right? Because then you're actually talking about if somebody does not want to do something, what is the government's right to force them to do it, right?
Well, here's the thing. Back in the day, if you had somebody institutionalized, it used to be a problem. You could just sign something. You'd say, hey, this guy's acting weird, and they'd come and take you away. Or for a political reason. It used to be horrible back in the 60s and the 70s.
Yeah.
So there was abuses of it. That's the whole problem I have with government. Government, it can't do anything right, It can't do anything right. It makes everything worse.
Agreed.
But getting rid of the system that they had after they had already reformed it, to have people talking to telephone poles and just walking around the street, not doing anything productive, and they're in danger of other people victimizing them, or they victimize. I've been assaulted twice in the last 6 months by crazy people coming up and pushing me. And I'm just walking the street minding my own business. I've got PTSD. I could snap at any moment if you come up to me the wrong way. The guy's nuts. He doesn't know what he's doing. I've got a problem. It could be a bad situation. Then I end up in jail and he's in the hospital or in the morgue or something. Don't have to. You can't have a city run like this. It's crazy.
Yeah,
they've destroyed the city the last 15 years. Just gone. It's just gone.
Yeah, I mean the 15 years probably, but I would say the last 2 years definitively, right?
Yeah.
Like because the news, at least, I'm in Ohio. Like, I
Right.
don't see what is happening now. Whenever the stuff initially started in your area, we were seeing stuff consistently. Like, now we see nothing. Like,
Yeah.
what does it actually look like now?
Well, it's really not that bad. Just everything's boarded up. There's
Okay.
graffiti everywhere. But it's not like there's roaming gangs of Antifa running the street. They mostly target the federal courthouse. They're done doing the protest and the marching. That was,
But they're still
scary.
doing that.
Not here.
Okay.
It's not where I'm at.
Oh, okay.
And I'm right across the river from, like, literally across the bridge from where it was happening.
Yeah.
And it's just it happens like on the weekends and at night. It's like the young kids that have nothing else to do, and the tourists, what Tim Pool calls the tourists, the people that come from all over the country to go riot.
I mean, what happened to like alcohol and pot? Like,
The lockdown
can't-
took all that away.
Yeah, can't these guys find like pot and alcohol and just like
Or girls or
do-
something,
guys, girls do the regular thing like smoke pot,
Yeah.
and
Go
drink
party or
alcohol,
something.
and
No, dude,
not,
they're losers. They've been indoctrinated by these socialists and communists in the school system. They think they're LARPer revolutionaries. They're
Yeah.
LARPers. They're LARPing communist revolutions. Because if it came down to it, if you ask me, their revolution would last 2 weeks and they'd end up all dead. We'd lose like 60 people.
Yeah.
The rest of us normal, not insane communists would lose about 60 people. They'd get massacred. Nobody wants their garbage. Nobody wants socialism here.
yeah,
Nobody wants that here. Nobody wants it. Nobody wants to be preached at the Oscars about how because you're white, you're a bad person and you owe reparations and you should supplicate yourself in front of this and that.
Adrian wants
horrible
to hear
people.
that. I mean, Adrian
People do want to hear all that
loves
stuff.
hearing that.
So, they're all people do want to hear all that stuff, and they all more vocal than some of it. So
Yeah. It's just a sad state of affairs.
So, have you had hardly any like businesses open back up, and like if you're walking downtown, right?
Downtown is complete. Is like there's like 1/10 of the businesses open downtown.
Really?
Everything's
Still?
shuttered. Yeah,
That sucks.
because of the threats of the riots. And but outside of downtown, almost everything
but like
is open.
threats of riots, or are there actual still riots occurring?
Threats of riots. There's not actual riots still occurring.
Oh,
There hasn't been
that is
since,
so.
there hasn't
like-
been since the summer. They attack. All the attack is the federal courthouse, and they had barricades up to where they couldn't attack it anymore. And as soon as Biden got in office, he took them down, and they started attacking it. And so they put the barricades back up, and they stopped attacking it because they made it far away enough where they couldn't throw anything that would actually hit it. They can't climb it without getting messed up because it's like 6 feet of concrete, or it's like 4 feet of concrete, and then another 10 feet of iron fence. So they're not getting over that, and they just put it all around the building, and then it all stopped. That's it.
Yeah, I mean,
You know,
because
and the
if it's
prosecutor-
only
the
like
biggest problem-
threats, like screw it, be done with it. Like, get
Well, you
stuff
can't defend
back to
yourself
normal.
against them here. The prosecutor will throw you in jail, and they let the Antifa guys go. The prosecutor's
Well-
the main problem. They keep letting the same guys out. It's like in Chicago, there's 1,200 guys that commit 99% of the murders, and they won't lock them up. It's the same thing here.
Yeah,
the
but
same 400 people
is it
keep
actually the same?
driving.
Like, where you're at, like, do they not allow, like, carrying conceal, things like that?
You can carry concealed, but just like that journalist, Steve, what's his name, happened a while ago. He pulled a gun out. There were 6 Antifa coming at him. It was on film, and he got jail time.
You are. I missed that one. Are you kidding?
2014 or 2015. There was Antifa riot, and they 6 of it. He had his shoulder broken 3 weeks before, and he was still healing up. And they came after him. 6 of them started surrounding him, trying to back him up against the car. He pulled his gun out, and he got charged and got a felony charge and thrown in the slammer.
You are kidding. Like, man, that's aggravating.
And we have a castle doctrine here.
Really?
Yeah.
And
So that's
even
how
with
Portland
castle
is. You
doctrine,
can't defend yourself.
they
If a
s-
homeless guy comes up and attacks you and you just do something, you go to jail. If you do something to Antifa, you go to jail. They can do whatever they want to you. It's
Wow.
nuts.
How many years did that guy get for,
It's like
essentially a
6 years or
defense?
something. 6 years.
Holy crap. That is insane.
Well, there's a bunch of filthy communists living in this state and in this city. Outside the city, you've got normal people. Inside the city, it's communists. Communists in all the government and in all the schools and everything.
Yeah.
And communists running stuff. They tell the police to stand down. The police don't defend you. Nothing. You defend yourself. You go to jail. Not a good state of affairs.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a reason I'm not saying anything, but y'all may not want to know. It involves me being
That's
half
all right.
naked.
It's okay, man.
It involves Adrian not having enough fiber in his diet. Let's leave it at that.
It might actually be an issue.
Yeah, I know. Well, I don't know, but I'm
take Colace.
insinuating. Yeah,
Colace is good for you.
Yeah,
Keeps you regular.
Adrian, get some Beano, because then there will be no
there you go.
gas. Ooh. Dude, that sucks. I had no, and see, that's one of the issues. Like,
I mean, they decriminalize drugs. They can just do drugs out in the open now. They can steal if it's under
or just
anything. Hard drugs, everything. If they can just shoplift from the store. The police don't do anything anymore because the guy won't prosecute them. Nothing. So the stores are halfway empty because you go to the dollar store, half the stuff is just stolen. It's all a mess. You go to the corner store, most of the stuff has been stolen. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Crap. I mean, essentially, we're just talking anarchy.
Yeah, and then we got the lockdown, on top of that. We've been locked down for a year. Yeah, it was already like that, and then we got the lockdown now. Stuff is pretty much opened up. They're open from business hours are now 10 to 4. I don't know why that does any good. Bars are open to 11. And the restaurants are they say you got to eat outside. So they build all these shelters outside, which is basically a 3-walled inside.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They building these things on the street, and it's well, you just made it indoors and outdoors. You know, what are you doing? I mean, it's completely insane. They want to make permanent masks now. They want to make permanent masks. The governor wants to make a permanent mask mandate.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, outside of Alaska, thankfully, you are about as far from me as just about anybody else. So just let me know.
My fiancé came from Cleveland. She was living in Cleveland.
Yeah, I mean, just let me know when the purge begins. Because I have a feeling it's going to start in your area, and as it moves east, at least I'll be readily prepared. Because holy crap!
Well, you got a problem. You got a problem with the Northeast too. New York City and everything, New York and Philadelphia, all that stuff's falling to hell. Minnesota,
there's a lot of land in between them and me. So
I understand, but I'm just saying you might get it both ways. You might have to go down south to Texas or something. I'm thinking about moving to Texas or Florida.
No, I mean ultimately you're talking high ground in the amount of ammo you have. So I'm pretty good. But
yeah, well, I live on the second and a half floor, second floor, because there's 2.5 floors to the building. So
I mean, I'll tell you where I'd really like to be, out in San Francisco. And
San Francisco is beautiful. They've ruined that city though.
What's the old penitentiary there?
San Quentin.
Yes.
Or Alcatraz.
Alcatraz. Yes.
On Alcatraz Island, all by yourself.
That is where
we should buy Alcatraz and all of us move there.
Yeah, I would really like to make a stand on Alcatraz. That would be a pretty decent location. I kind of like Alcatraz. Yeah.
So they start lobbing artillery and mortar shells at you, it'd be a bad day.
As long as they don't start coming at me with artillery, I'm good. If they start hit me with artillery and having jets bomb it, I'm completely screwed up. But
everybody wants to be Neil Harris until the bombing starts.
Right.
Yeah.
That was the actor who played the sort of main villain in The Rock, right?
Yeah.
Wait, which one?
I thought it was Oh, who the hell did I just say?
Holy
Something here.
crap! I can't pronounce that.
I don't know what you're...
Yeah, like in The Rock, I know we had Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery, like as the good guys. Like
One of the
Yeah, but the
villains,
bad guy, the general. The general was the general was what's his name?
It's something Harris. That
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Ed Harris. Yeah,
Ed Harris.
Yes, that's the guy
Yeah.
who was the main villain in
yeah.
The Rock.
Ed
Yeah.
Harris is a great actor.
Is
You-
not
you-
was is.
Yeah. Have you seen him in that? Have you seen him in that cowboy movie with
Westworld.
no, the other one
What other
that
one?
he directed? Cabusa, what is it? I'm trying to think of it. Hold on, let me look it up.
Big bootied. No, I mean Cabusa.
It's some weird name, but it's got Viggo Mortensen in it. Viggo Mortensen.
Anytime I hear Vigo, I think that short, staturely small guy.
Let's
I don't
see
know what
here.
you're talking about.
Let me find it. Wow, he's been in a ton of good movies. Appaloosa.
Oh, I don't know if I've seen that.
Oh, it's great. Appaloosa, Viggo Mortensen, Renee Zellweger, and Jeremy Irons. It's really good. Directed and co-written by Harris. Really good movie. You want to see good gunfighting that actually looks real? That's how it goes down, just like that. They actually got that part right.
Yeah, I'm looking that up. I'm seeing if I've.
Appaloosa is great. Came out in 2008. Really good movie.
Okay. I was just thinking tonight. What I'd really like to see is oh shoot, what is his name? Eastwood, his son.
Oh, Clint Eastwood.
Yeah. Do a spaghetti western.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I'd like to see Clint Eastwood's son maybe play Wolverine.
Oh my gosh, that would actually.
What's Clint Eastwood's son's name?
Scott. Is it Scott?
Eastwood. I thought that's Scott's Khan's son.
My name's not particularly. My memory's not that great right now. For whatever reason.
Yeah, I think it is Scott.
Look
but
up
yeah, like now that you say that, he
I'll look it
would
up, hold
be like a really, really good Wolverine.
Yeah, because his son looks a whole lot like Clint Eastwood did.
Yes.
I don't know, late '60s maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what? Yeah, back when he was
Scott
in,
Eastwood,
like his
you're
like
right.
late 20s to 30s.
Yeah, he looks a little bit like him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
he
I would
did.
love to see him in a Western, but like as Adrian is saying, like, yeah, he actually would make a really super good Wolverine.
Yeah, he'd be. Oh wow, he's been in a whole bunch of movies.
Yes. Yeah. Like Pacific Rim. I really, really liked him in Pacific Rim. I've seen him in a couple other things. I don't remember what it was I was watching tonight, but he was on there.
I'd seen him in Suicide. I've seen Suicide Squad, and I've seen Snowden. I didn't even notice that he was in there.
Yeah.
I tell you the truth, I knew of
weird.
the actor, but I can't think of anything he's in off the top of my head.
Yeah, Pacific Rim is the big one that I remember because he was one
That
of the
movie
leads in
looked kind
there.
of silly. Was it any good?
Oh yeah. Well, yes and no. Like if you like, just
Robots?
big robot stuff, and
I
kind of
usually
a
like that stuff
sci-fi
in anime.
undertone.
I don't like it in like
You're
real,
gonna like it.
in. Oh yeah, like
Did
I
you
used to like watch.
Yeah, like
I used to watch,
the Hugh Jackner, or yeah, Hugh Jackman movie where it was like the robots and they were
Yeah,
virtual.
I didn't see that one.
That was a pretty good
That,
one.
but that was a good one
Okay.
too.
I
That
was
looked
gonna
silly
say
to me too.
yeah. If
Usually
you like that
they
one,
ruin
you would like
movies like
Pacific
that.
Rim. Yeah. But
Yeah, they
Pacific
usually ruin
Rim
movies
kind of
like that.
reminds me of like Voltron, type of thing.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah. I mean, I liked it.
I'll have to check it out. Well, they've gotten so good with graphics these days. A lot of times they just rely on the graphics to carry the movie, which sucks.
Yeah, and I think Pacific Rim actually had like 2 of them now. There was
I
like
think there's a
Pacific
second
Rim.
and a third one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there may have been a third one. I don't
Yeah.
know. Like,
I think on Netflix it just came out.
oh,
The
really?
Netflix Pacific Rim Dark something. Dark
Oh,
Rise or Dark Waters
that
or
means
something.
there's another movie I have to watch. You know,
Let me
if
check
I
it
can
out.
get the
Hold on,
kids
I
to
might
bed.
be wrong.
You know, like tonight, the kids are in bed. So
Or,
hello.
or it could be it could be a series I'm thinking of. I think they have might even be a series they came out with.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, I got curiosity for y'all. I have this OCD thing about someone's quote tweet that is just dumb. Wait, where was I even going with this? Never mind.
Purple.
What was that?
Purple.
Purple's where I was going with that.
Yes.
Oh, I heard there's something called Base Camp. And apparently, a bunch of people are pissed off that they changed some kind of employment policy. And I read the employee policy, and it actually policy changes, and they all seem good to me. But a bunch of people who don't want to actually work and want to whine about the politics all the time are really pissed off about I think it's called Base Camp changing some of the policies. Did anybody heard anything about this?
Yeah,
No.
let me see. Like, I used to use Basecamp at a previous employment.
Okay, I found it. It's Pacific Rim the Black. It's an anime. They turned it into anime. It's actually an anime series.
Yeah, I actually am not an anime guy.
Yeah, anime, you either love it or you hate it.
Yeah, I'm more on the not so into it side. But Basecamp, though, yeah, that's like a project management suite that I've used in the past. Adrian, what was kind of going on there?
As far as basically, I'm not even sure. I just read through some of the policies thing.
Like, what policies were people getting annoyed about?
Okay, I'm trying to find the URL.
Yeah, basecamp.com. I'm joking. I don't know.
Oh, you guys want to know a really good movie to watch? The Friends of Eddie Coyle.
Get closer to your mic whenever you're talking.
Oh, here's one of the things in it. I found it. I'll go ahead and put the link, maybe in the show notes too, about Basecamp. Well, but apparently this is one of the main things they had an issue with, and I'll see if I can read it. And then one thing I think was this: the first thing they were changing around, normal societal and political discussions on our company Basecamp account. Today's societal and political waters were especially choppy. Sensitivities are 11, and every discussion remotely related to politics, apathy, or society at large quickly spins away from pleasant. You shouldn't have to wonder if staying out of it means you're complicit or wading into it means you're a target. These are difficult enough waters to navigate in life, significantly more so at work. Go look at the URL. There's a bunch of stuff, and basically some left-wing authoritarians who run how someone else runs a business, show how other people do this and work. Thinks they should be able to do this. Basically, Basecamp is saying they don't want to hire people who constantly whine and do more advocacy work. It may not be advocacy even good work. They want to actually fucking work. Oh, by the way, there's also, have you seen that service about hiring non-woke people?
No, you are breaking up a little bit, so I'm
about
trying
5
to
or 10 years
piece
too late, though,
one
man.
of 1 to equal 3. So I'm getting most of what you're saying, but not everything.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. Oh, well, I think I better shut this down before too long anyway. But there was some service that was basically a company where it was like something for employers to go out to deliberately look for non-woke employees.
Oh, really? Like, I hear you perfectly fine now. So
what was that?
Keep speaking. I hear you perfectly fine now.
Oh, did I cut out?
Yeah, you were like in and out there for a minute.
Shit.
Yeah.
I don't even know. What was the last thing you heard come out of my mouth?
Quite a few words about Basecamp. Most of it sounded like it was a good thing. But
yeah. Basically, Basecamp wants to hire people that actually work and not advocate for things that may not even be good to advocate for, just because someone thinks they're good to advocate for, because they come from a delusional worldview and take everything too seriously. And they're going to whine if they hear me say that too. Basecamp actually wants to employ employees. That's what I get from the gist of policy.
I mean, that's what 99.9% of companies want to do, though, right? Have employees that work, not that kind of try to push a social agenda upon everybody else under the company like guise. At least I would hope. That's the expectation of most companies. Jason's muted. Adrian, you got anything to say?
Yet. He may have mentioned.
No, I muted myself. I'm in the middle of making a knife.
Oh, sorry. I'll let you mute yourself again if you want.
No, it's all right. No, but I'm saying they're 5 or 10 years too late. They should have started doing this a long time ago.
Yeah,
you know, all this garbage before it started.
You know, but was this an issue that arose like X amount of time ago? Like, is this new or something that's been perpetuated? I mean, because if it's new, good for them for addressing it right now, right?
Well, no, it's actually started in 2014, 2015 when all this woke nonsense. Basically politically correct stuff, but they started canceling people and doing all this stuff, and it got really bad when Trump got elected. It went ballistic, and then so that's what I'm saying. It's like 7 years. They're 7 years behind the times. This should have been done a long time ago, if you ask me.
Yeah,
because they infected everything. The atheists, the feminists, the
But we're talking about
gaming,
Basecamp, though.
Knitting circles, even.
This is regarding Basecamp, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, because if Basecamp was doing it, you know, and having this issue like during Trump era, but not during a Biden era, like, yeah, that's an issue, right? Because you're obviously playing sides. If they have an issue during a Trump era and a Biden era, then, you know, they kind of all offset. So, but Jason, unmute, because I still want to talk about knives. If you come back to your actual computer. Since Adrian has also gone off cam. Yay! Sorry, Jason's back. Okay.
Drill a couple holes.
Nice. Okay, so let's talk knives for like 10 minutes.
Sure, I love talking knives.
Good. Adrian, you around? Want to talk knives?
Yes, I'm around. Can you not hear me?
Good. Yes. Yeah, let's talk knives. Okay, let's talk knives. So, Jason, what do you like? What don't you like? Do you like out the fronts? Sides?
Yeah, I got it out the front.
Fixed?
I like anything.
What's your bag?
I like everything. everything I get my hands on. I like this big cold steel. Carry with this with me every day. It's only $27. This thing's a monster.
That is. Though there's no serrated blade. I do like super like a serrated blade though.
Yeah, serrated blades are cool.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yes. This is one of my little favorites. It is. Oh shoot! What is this?
I have one like that. I got a lightning.
It is. Yeah, it's a lightning. Yes.
Yeah. See.
I don't even have to look it up.
I was just showing Adrian.
Yes. This is one of the best value knives.
Like $30,
out the front.
right?
Yeah, it was like $25-$30. Like,
yeah,
it is freaking great. Like,
yeah,
it is not a what's the butterfly?
piece of garbage.
No.
Polysong.
No, the butterfly. The Benchmade. Yeah, it's not a Benchmade, right? Like, you can still hear like a ting, right? There's a ting in there whenever you open, close. Like, it's not a Benchmade, right? But you're also not paying $250 for it.
Or
like,
400.
Yeah, or 400. Like, this is $30-40. Like, I take this out on the tractor, on the lawnmower. If I need to cut, twine, a small.
And if you lose it or break it, you're not crying.
Yeah, like, screw it. Like,
if you're doing honestly, really work like
literally
cutting rope and stuff, serrated blade works awesome.
Yeah, I'm still gonna cry if I lose this thing. Like, I am going to, because it is just that good of a little knife.
Oh, that's nice.
Like, I'm not gonna take, because I have Benchmates. Like, I'm not gonna take a freaking Benchmade out into a field or into the woods and do stuff with it, because it is too expensive. It's too nice. I'm not going to use it in that sense. Like, I take this thing out and I'm going to like ruin it 100% of the time. And I literally will like be very disappointed if I lose this or damage it, even though it's a little cheapy, like $40 knife. Gonna be disappointed about it. But yeah, the Lightning, freaking great knife. And like the one I have here, you can see Lightning, serrated blade to a Tonto. I love this thing. I use
the Tonto's amazing. You can
every
just
day.
use the little tip to open up everything. You don't have to go. You just zip, and it just zips, opens up everything. It's amazing.
You want to open up a piece of mail? There you go.
Yep,
it's great. Ohio, we are still we are super close to me carrying this out in public, not only on my property. Like, we are super close to me carrying it everywhere. We're waiting for the who is it now? The
governor.
No, it's past the governor now. It's to the courts to actually formulate the law that says we can carry it. Like the judiciary system or whatever, to actually write the actual law. Like, it's gone past everything. We're there, like 9 out of 10. We are so freaking close. So I'm almost able to carry this in public everywhere I go.
I can carry this in public. I just can't carry it concealed. It has to be visible.
That's interesting.
So if it's on my belt. But it depends in Multnomah County. But really, they only mess with you if you're a hoodlum. They don't mess with you if you're a normal person. And I used to be a hoodlum, so I know. So I dress like a normal person these days, and I don't do stuff. But if it's on your belt, that's considered not concealed, even if your shirt's over it. Dude, but in Multnomah County, it depends on what the law. The law is so nebulous here; it's crazy.
I totally want to throw a racist thing out there, like a Jewish hoodlum, like.
Really? Oh, yes, I was raised Orthodox, and then I went to public school, and I became a criminal. I was a criminal for like 20 years.
Oh my gosh!
And then I stopped in like 2007 or 8. So I've been straight for like 13, 14 years.
There's like 1,000 ways I want to take this conversation right now, but I'll be nice. We're still talking like knives, so
yeah.
But yeah. I definitely want to talk knives because like that sounded very cool. Like, do you make any of your own stuff or anything?
Right now, I'm just getting started. So what I'm doing is I'm making sheaths. Like, I'm making neck knives.
Okay.
Where
you're like, as long as you have a beard that is 13 inches or longer, I'm making beard knives. You can seal them in your beard.
I'm just taking a Victorinox paring knife.
Okay.
Sharpening it, putting my own edge on it, and then making a sheath for it.
Nice.
And putting it around your neck. And then I've got little safety systems in here that my knife maker friends taught me how to make. So
Yeah, that's
It
cool.
don't choke you to death.
Yeah.
If you want one, I can send you one. I'm going to send Adrian one. DM me your address. I'll shoot you one.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a I won't say a big knife guy, but I'm a decently big knife guy. I probably have, I don't know, 250 knives somewhere in there. So
That's a lot of knives. Yeah, I got a whole big bucket full. I got a bucket full.
Yeah.
I got knives all over the place.
Nice.
I got
that's very
sharpening
cool.
stones all over the place. I got a thing with sharpening stones too.
You know, one of the best things I found as a sharpening stone, like take your regular stones, but for like the final edge, take what's it? The filament that comes out of a. Give me a second.
The tungsten rod.
Yeah,
the welder.
No, that comes out of the lights. What is it called?
Everybody's having memory problems today.
Oh, it's been
I had
so many freaking meetings today. I already complained to a buddy of mine. But yeah, it's the filament that comes out of like a halogen light.
Let me look that up. Hold on.
Yeah. But those so I still have one that is like 40 years old because my dad got it for me, and he used to work at GM. They had the lights, and he brought me home one of the filaments one time because the filaments
tungsten. Yeah.
Oh, it is. Okay, cool.
That is tungsten.
Yeah. So he used to use those apparently tungsten.
Yeah, the
filaments.
tungsten rods are super hard.
Yeah. To sharpen his knives whenever he worked at General Motors. And he brought me that rod home one time. And yeah, I have religiously like sharpened my knives with those for, essentially my whole life. We're talking like close to 40 years. And they will cut freaking anything. I mean, like slicing the hair off your arm, like that is nothing for these things.
Yeah.
Right. Like it is going to slice it, and it's going to go down to the first or second layer of skin and cut it off.
Nice.
So yeah, it's quality stuff.
Yeah. What I usually finish with is like a Spyderco Ultrafine.
Okay.
Sal Glesser from Spyderco, the guy that started Spyderco, he sent me a sharp maker to try out.
Nice.
Sent me some knives to play with. Yeah. So I use it. It's the best thing I think for setting the angle. It's fast. You just whoop 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 whoop, and you're done. The thing's sharp. You're ready to go. But I got a Tormek also.
Yeah.
A Tormek T4, and I've been using that. I got the Japanese stone for that, so it polishes up. But I've got like boxes and boxes of stones.
Nice.
I've got my favorites, and I don't end up using the rest of them, but I just collect them because I like old vintage Norton stones that I collect.
Yeah, like for my hatchets and stuff like that, like, you probably won't like this all that much, but I have a 85 Craftsman knife grinder.
Oh yeah.
That works freaking amazingly. Like
for getting a hatchet?
Yeah. I mean,
hatchet, machetes and all that stuff, you can grind those on grinders and it's not a problem.
Yeah. And that wheel spins, I mean, what, maybe like 12,000 RPM? I mean, it is crazy stupid fast. But I will take a hatchet and be like, and, well, flip it over, do the second side, done. I mean, and it is probably 10 seconds, and I have a razor sharp edge that literally lasts probably, I would say, a good 60 plus throws. Like if I'm chopping something, if I'm throwing it, whatever the case may be, like I probably have at least 60 cuts where it is almost perfect. And then, it starts to degrade slowly but surely. But even once it starts to degrade, it's not like, at 60, it's nothing, right? It's going to be like 400 or 500. It's nothing, where it's like a mute edge. Like, it has just a pristine edge for so freaking long. And we lost Jason. Hey, Adrian.
How's it
Glad
going?
you're here.
Oh, I was doing something stupid. How's it going?
I'm good.
Oh,
How are
we'll
you?
talk about offline. Much more things I'd like to talk about offline, but we'll see if Jason joins in the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, we'll see here.
I mostly know what's going on with you because of your wife posts a lot of books.
My wife does post a lot of stuff, yes, which is
Mostly
nice.
Kids, which is what you expect, but
Yeah, which is good because I am not the best about posting kid stuff. I am pretty good about posting, dad jokes.
Okay.
Kid stuff. I capture it here and there, but not the best on kind of redisplaying it. So, yeah.
Nothing to talk about. How long has this cast been going on? For 3 hours and 22 minutes.
3 hours. Yeah, and well, it's showing me 15 minutes, but maybe
that's
showing you
haven't
different.
been here very long.
Yeah, Dickie says axes shouldn't be razor sharp, and I totally agree. They should not be able to slice you like a precision knife should, or a scalpel. Dickie, I'm sorry we triggered you. Maybe, yeah, I won't go there. But yeah, sorry about that. What's your shirt say? Oh, Jason's joining back in.
Sorry,
Apparently,
my computer died. I had it on battery that whole time. I got a new battery.
Your computer died. Sure.
It went battery.
Israel just pissed. Yeah.
Oh, what's on my shirt? Sorry, I'm a little distracted by things in my head, and people don't understand that and won't leave me the fuck alone. Oh, dude, I hate these virtue signals who are disgusting scumbags who used to have like photos on their fucking website of a girl being molested, but now they're the preachy one. Not that I would do the first thing, but some of these people did.
Well, they're hypocritical scumbags with no principles. What do you expect from them?
If you ever see a person who constantly deletes all their old tweets, like all of them, that's a scumbag. You know they're hiding some shit because they got the new woke friends that they don't see shit. Some people also have that shit.
And then what they like is changes all the time. Like that lady that got fired from that magazine 7 years ago, she could talk bad about Asians. All of a sudden, Asians are in the news. Now she can't talk about them. She gets fired for something she said 7 years ago. It's insanity,
Holy
man.
Crap, really?
Yeah, she got fired. She was the editor of like some teen magazine, and she was a person of color too.
But I would be interested to see what she said.
She didn't say anything really nasty. She just said Asians, shouldn't get preferential treatment because they get higher test scores or something silly.
And something like that, I honestly do fully agree with. If a group of individuals collectively get higher scoring within whatever, they collectively as a group should not get preferential treatment. It should be on the individual basis.
It's based on individual.
Yeah, it should be off the individual. And this is with me, being married to an Asian lady.
And my understanding is the woman he's talking about said the opposite of you might have to mute you. That the TV's coming in too loud, Jason.
Yeah, your background is super loud, Jason. Is this still bright there? Dang you. It is 10:18 in the night here. We are freaking dark. I'm looking out your flipping window, and it's bright. What in the hell? Come on. You suck.
How many hours? Anyway, ask him later on. But the gist I got is what the lady said was she doesn't think it should be based solely on test score.
Oh,
That's my gist of what Jason said. Jason can correct me later on.
it should not be based. I mean, no, and two, I agree with that. Like, because if you look at us within the security community, right, we are looking more, or at least we should be. I don't want to say everybody is, but like, look at the OSCP, right? Like, if I were only looking at candidates who have their CISSP, I'm not trying to dismay anybody who has their CISSP. Like, yes, it is a good certificate. I'm sure you put a lot of hard work into it, but you can go into the CISSP and just pass a test and get your cert with memorized knowledge. If you start to look at like the OSCP, the OSCE, offensive security certifications, you start to see items that are not only like knowledge based, but also skill based, where you actually have to hack into systems. You have to do something. You have to go that level past, right? Where it's not just a memorization to pass a test. It's actual hands-on knowledge experienced to physically pass a test. You have to actually do it. So I take those in a higher account than like a CISSP. So if it is, back to this lady's comment that it is just a test, then I kind of align with her that yes, I could care less if they actually just pass a test. I want to see what they can do past a test.
Yeah, but that's not really what they do for college, is it? Maybe it should be. I don't know.
It kind of depends on the college, I think. I think some colleges do, some colleges don't. And you got to be kind of specific in regard to whenever you're looking at colleges, and be very like punctual, like very poignant as to what you are looking for in a college. But two, I'm not going to hire somebody because they have a degree.
I'm not going to hire someone because they have a degree. But there's only like one test for testing whether or not someone's going to be accepted into a higher program. That test score. Now, what that test should be, we could talk about.
Yeah.
Or whether that's a test at all, and you let everybody in, and some people just wash out. I don't think that's going to be necessarily reasonable, because some places only have limited. Well, every place only has limited seating.
Yeah.
Ultimately. So yeah. Actually, I think I'm going to take this offline now, and
well, real quick. Let's just add one additional thing. If you are a hiring manager, try to make sure you have something that is creative, right? If you are hiring somebody, whether you are a manager, a security admin, whoever, if you are hiring somebody under you, try to be creative into figuring out who is going to be appropriate for you to hire. Put them through a small gambit, try to test their skill set. Obviously, do not devise it upon race, anything stupid like that. Actually do it by skill set. And whoever kind of comes out on top, there you go. Like, they should be the best mesh for your team.
Okay, then. All right, we'll take this offline and see if Jason comes back on for that. But everybody, see you next week, hopefully. See what happens. We missed a week last week. And see you later.